What's up, man? What's up, man? What's up? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Apostate Prophet Show, the most watched show on this channel. David, what's up? How you doing, man?
What's up? What's up? Just sending out the link. Sending out the link. We're live in your face, Quran.
In your face. So, yes, I think we were live yesterday on your channel, as far as I remember. Today, I was thinking of going live and talking about a different topic that I initially had in mind, that we also talked about, that was relating to Musab Hassan Youssef. However, I looked at the thing that we were looking at, that we wanted to look at, his talk at the Oxford Union, which apparently they didn't publish and censored, and it turns
Isn't that
out
crazy though?
it is very low. Yes.
Yeah, you're pointing out the audio qualities because that's someone recording on their cell phone, just the audio on their cell phone. But isn't that messed up? This is supposed to be like this great debate hub. And then they say, we're finally going to debate this. We're finally going to debate whether Israel is an apartheid state. And Musab Hassan Youssef comes in there, gives a full presentation wearing a tuxedo, and they don't post it. And I don't know why officially. I don't know why, if they're giving any explanation. I know he messaged right afterwards. He says that during his time, he asked the group there if they had been informed of Hamas's plans before the attack. You know what they're going to do. You know they're going to go over there. They're going to slaughter as many people as possible, rape, kill, all that stuff. How many of you would have notified people in Israel to warn them of this attack so that they could not be killed? And he said it looked like around 75% said no, they wouldn't have warned Israel. I saw someone else say, no, I was in there, and in the crowd is more like 95% said no, they wouldn't have warned them. And so that's what happened when he gave his presentation, and they released other speakers, their presentations. They're not releasing his. And so the question is why? It would obviously get a lot of views. If you are these pro free speech, pro debate people, you would obviously want people to see the presentations at this huge debate. If they actually withhold because of that, that's some messed up stuff, because you're basically concealing the fact that he let the cat out of the bag and show that you're a bunch of evil scumbags who want to see as many Jews slaughtered as possible. In which case, why should we take anything you say seriously? That's what it looks like so far, unless they come out and, I mean, it's always possible they'll release it tomorrow and they'll just say, oh yeah, we're holding on till now or something like that. But this is what it looks like. It looks like it was bad for them and it exposed them, and they don't show it.
The thing is, it's also right here, actually. I feel kind of intrigued by this still, but so Jonathan Sacerdoti. Do I know this guy? I think I do.
You don't know Sacerdoti, man. You don't know Johnny Sack?
I think I actually do. You know, that's kind of funny.
It's from The Sopranos, Johnny Sack.
Oh, Sacerdoti. This is funny. I actually do. I actually connected with him, and I didn't even realize that I know this guy until now. So he published it. He said, this is what they didn't show you, what they try to hide. You're the hiding boy.
You don't even care about the children.
And the thing is, the audio quality of it is just terrible. And I was thinking of getting it and changing the audio quality and then looking through it.
You might want to send that off to a professional and see if they can actually. Like hypothetically, like send it off to a pro and say, can this be improved? If so, let us know. If not, then
I'm a professional.
Raise their hands that will report a massive terrorist attack that targeted civilians indiscriminately, that includes Arabs, Muslims, Jews, Christians, peaceful farming communities on October 7th.
Do you think this is worth listening to?
It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it would be worse if we're trying to listen to it live, but you might want to get You might want to ask people, should we listen to some of this? Let them listen to a little bit of it and ask the poll real quick.
Indiscriminately. This is my
There's
point.
some parts of it that are quite okay.
In the European Union, and it's not up to you to decide. Or the sound, Sheikh Hassan Yusuf.
People are saying it's okay.
And listen.
Saying it's okay.
People are saying it's okay. It's better than I thought, because I thought, okay, you got the audio and then you use the audio, but then it's going to be worse because we're going to be trying to listen to it live and stuff like that. But it's not. It's better than I thought it would be.
Now I'm wondering if I should switch topics.
You might want to just switch the topic.
Let me make a poll here. Let me make a poll. What should we talk about? Should we talk about the ChatGPT brutally humiliating the Quran, or should we talk about Musab Hassan Yusuf? Let's see. Poll. What topic shall we discuss? AI versus Quran or Musab Hassan Yusuf? Oxford Union. Okay. Let's see.
People are already saying Masab. What topic shall we discuss? AI versus stupid Quran or Masab Hassan Yusuf Oxford Union?
The thing is, the Quran thing is brilliant, because what I did was earlier today, I had
you could in theory do that any day, right?
That's true. That's true.
So that's
this
the
is kind of a pressing. This is a more pressing matter. Now we're polluting the poll results by giving out our opinion on this. Yeah, they talk about it in the interview. ChatGPT is not interesting. Talk about something else. How dare you suggest it's not interesting? It's listenable, not too long. Police, Mossab. Okay, how about that? How about I just change topics now and just do that?
Yeah, do it. You should change. You should.
Somebody sent me an updated thumbnail.
Yeah, don't worry about the thumbnail now. Yeah, someone make him an updated thumbnail with Masab and his tuxedo. But you should change the title real quick. I'll just wait. I'll just sit here and wait all day. Everyone can see how professional we are. We start shows. We change the topics. No one knows what the topic's going to be because we might change it in a heartbeat.
This is the ultimate professionalism. What are you talking about?
It is.
This is the most professional thing I've ever done in my entire life. Alhamdulillah. I could always do the other things some other time. Alhamdulillah, 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 Alhamdulillah.
All right. How long did it take to fix your title?
Hey,
it automatically changed it on my thing. I didn't even have to refresh anymore.
That's
technology is changing. Masab Hassan Yusuf's speech they tried to censor at Oxford Union.
Let me quickly fix a few things here.
Yeah, just take your time. Just take your time.
Yeah. Everyone
want me to go through it? Hey, want me to go through these first couple super chats real quick while you're
go for a walk? No, I'm ready.
Too late. I already put up a super chat. Hey Pete, are you looking forward to Skyblivion?
What in the world is Skyblivion? Is that a mix of Skyrim and Oblivion? Those are games.
It's probably some weird video game nerd nonsense that you and Mike Winger will be.
Skyblivion is an upcoming open world action roleplay. What? No, it's not. This is a mod, community made. This is weird. I don't know. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if.
Are you looking forward to it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Noah Star said, "Hey AP, I'm going to Israel next week. You and David would have raved about the shawarma place in Bat Yam. What's it called? I want to go."
I don't remember what the place is called.
I could actually look it up very quickly.
Hey, if you remember the address where we were at, it's right around the corner from that address, so you can actually look it up there.
Yeah, I just have to remember what kind of what app that was that I booked that place with, because it was some weird thing that I never used before. But yeah, I can definitely tell you later what that place was.
I'll look around, see if I can find anything. If I listen anywhere back. Yeah.
The Oxford speech will create many great laughs and some deep emotion, inshallah. Let's see, have a look then, inshallah. Okay.
My name is Mus'ab Hassan Yus. For those who don't know me, I think most of you know who I am.
Oh, we know who you are.
Order, please.
This is how it starts.
Yeah, he says, "You know who I am." Someone says scumbag, and
he doesn't say scumbag. He says sharmut, which means.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. I couldn't hear it because the audio was weird. Yeah, we're quite familiar with that. Isn't it like, think about his great crime? His great crime was he left a terrorist organization and started working against the terrorist organization, and now you've got a room full of young people at the Oxford Union who think he's a terrible person for that. Like,
Connor Bushy, what do you want from me? Slow mode is on. Stop spamming slow mode. Slow mode is on. What do you want from me? Pray for Christians from Syria. There's lots of stuff going on in Syria right now. So he says,
I think most of you know who I am.
He says, most of you know who I am. Somebody then says sharmut, which is what you say for a man instead of sharmuta when you call him a whore. I really wonder what kind of person said this. Like, I wish it was on camera. I really wonder what kind of a person actually says this. And I would think that somebody who knows the language and who calls him that here considers him a traitor because he betrayed his terrorist Hamas organization, which in all honesty, if you are part of that, you deserve to die. If you support it, you're not really a human being who deserves to live, in my opinion, and so on. So what kind of people sit in Oxford and actually call somebody who left Hamas a traitor or a whore?
Order. Please allow the speaker to make a speech in silence. And please show courtesy to the speaker.
I am sentenced by my father to death. He made my blood allowed. Why? Because I reported on suicide bombing attacks that targeted civilians indiscriminately. This is my crime. And guess what? It is not a secret that we discovered. It was my initiative that I repeated myself to the public of what I did because I am not ashamed of saving human lives. You should be ashamed of taking the fight of terrorism. Also, I am not going to apologize for reporting Hamas and for reporting terrorists. And know that we will fight anyone who takes the side of terrorists. Hamas is a terrorist organization in the UK, in the United States, in the European Union, and it's not up to you to decide. Sit down. Now listen, only Sheikh Hassan Yusuf has the authority and the power to pull the trigger. Not you, not him, not her.
Sheikh Hassan Yusuf is his father.
His daddy.
His dad. His father, who is a co-founder of Hamas and who condemned him, disowned him, who raised him. It's actually very tragic. It's I read his book, and he had a very good relationship with his father, and he actually had a lot of respect for his father, and really looked up to his father, and all that. But he didn't understand what exactly they're doing, why they're doing it, and so on. He changed in prison, turned against his father, worked against his father and his people, the terrorists. And later, his father, of course, disowned him and called him a traitor.
only Sheikh Hassan Yusuf, if he has the courage to point a gun at his oldest son and pull the trigger. Anyone else who tries to do that will be dealt with differently. Now, how many of you sitting here want to teach me a lesson about morality? If you knew about October 7 attacks, any of you, raise your hands. If you had information about Hamas attack on October 7, would you report it to the authorities? If you do, raise your hand. Sit down. Less than 5%.
Whoa, there you go. Less than 5%.
Raise their hands that will report a massive terrorist attack that targeted civilians indiscriminately, that includes Arabs, Muslims, Jews, Christians, peaceful farming communities on October 7.
Yeah, and hey, isn't that interesting? Because these are the people, oh, but what about the civilians? What about the civilians? Okay, Hamas went and killed a bunch of civilians. If you had known about that, would you have shared that information? No. What's that mean? You guys don't have a problem with killing civilians. You love killing civilians. You just love killing Israeli civilians. You love it. You have zero problem with killing civilians. It's just you complain about killing civilians when it's convenient for your case because you know that'll help dupe people into thinking that you guys have good intentions. Pretty sick stuff, man.
The one reason that I don't want to talk about this topic is that it makes me really, really mad. And I thought I wanted to talk about something that is more cheerful.
Dude, can you see? I mean, seriously, as far as I know, they haven't explained why they haven't released it. But if he said, show your hands and it's being recorded, you basically have a video record of everyone who's sitting there going, nope. And therefore you would have every person that you can see on that camera who doesn't raise their hand. You've got a record of that person basically openly admitting that they support killing Israeli civilians. And you probably have a bunch of people who do not want their faces known after admitting that they support killing Israeli civilians. And so a bunch of people probably complained and said, do not post this. Do not post this, what our faces are on here. Pretty pathetic, man. Pretty pathetic. Bunch of freaking sniveling cowards. Are real brave when they're out there behind masks in the streets and so on. You can even ask them to their faces, do you support killing Israeli civilians? Yes, absolutely. Yes. Just don't show our faces in this video where we admitted it. Big, tough jihadis.
I'm just checking it. The Union voted confidence in Majesty government. It regrets the repeal. Israel is an apartheid state responsible for genocide. America is a failing democracy, and so on. The guy who is the president of Oxford Union right now, or the guy who is co-president, whatever it's called, of Oxford Union right now, happens to be anti-Israel.
Shocker.
Muslim, I think, as it seems. Very, very funny. Very funny. Very, very funny.
20 Jewish communities because of their ethnicity and because of their religion. What's happening in Gaza is not the same. Because you are the one who's taking the side of terrorists, knowing exactly your role, and you are enjoying it. But at some point, you will have to deal with the consequences, because everything is recorded against you. Now,
do you hear these mumbling brats here?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
really?
they're doing a bang up job. When this happens, they do a bang up job of showing how sick and evil they are. I mean, this is just sick, evil stuff.
Point, you will have to deal with the consequences, because everything is recorded against you. Now, there come the Palestinians, the most pathetic people on planet Earth.
Wait.
He said the Palestinians.
There come the Palestinians, the most pathetic people on planet Earth.
What's wrong with this dude, man?
You want, sit down. You want to deal with the master.
Oh boy, this guy knows how to enrage people, right? It's the same thing. Like he thinks ahead of time. What is the thing I could say that will most enrage whoever it is I'm talking to? And that comes across with individuals. You are not even fit to be a mother. If I have to choose between 1.6 billion Muslims and a cow, I will choose the cow. He knows how to.
No, this is so pathetic. In all honesty, in my opinion, if you try to appeal to people like this to change their minds on the whole pro-Palestine thing, in my opinion, it's not the best route to go to say that Palestinians are the most pathetic people. However, this just reveals one thing to me, which is, so Oxford Union is meant to be, by the way, completely independent from Oxford University, nothing to do with each other, is meant to be a society for unrestricted, open debate and free speech and reasoning and so on. So people are supposed to sit down and listen to each other speak unrestricted. So they're supposed to sit down and listen to each other say the most controversial things and then present opposing viewpoints and so on. But here you see it. All he didn't say, but the Palestinians, they deserve to be eradicated. He didn't say any of those things. All he did was call them pathetic. And the response is one you would hear at an Ariana Grande concert if she took her clothes off.
Now AP's got everyone imagining Ariana Grande taking off her clothes. Great job, AP.
It's just so pathetic, man.
No, it is. I mean, and you can think, you say, oh, that's kind of a mean thing. What about the Palestinian Christians and the Palestinians who actually don't like Hamas and so on? What about them and so on? But anyway, it's interesting because the people on one side are Israelis are scum. The Jews are the worst of creatures. They will be hiding behind rocks and trees as we exterminate them. They're very okay with this kind of rhetoric when it's going against the Jews. He just flips it, which is what he always does. People always believe it's okay to use like extreme rhetoric going in one direction. The moment you use the exact same sort of rhetoric in reverse, then they lose their minds and cry like babies. Isn't that interesting? Like, take your pick, ladies and gentlemen. Either you don't want to use sort of inflammatory rhetoric, in which case don't use it, or say it's okay. And if it's okay for you, then it's okay for Mossad. Under no circumstances should you be allowed to use it on your side, but whine like babies whenever someone
so pathetic.
Someone says it in reverse.
Pathetic.
Oh, hang on.
What?
Hey, guy who asked about the sandwich shop. I think I found it. Remember how there was a pastry shop right across the street on the corner? I looked up pastry shops, and then I went from pastry shop to a sandwich shop across the street from it. I think that is the sandwich shop.
You found it?
I believe I found it. I just gave the address to the guy who asked for it. He's going to be there next week.
You did? How did you give the address?
I just clicked on it. I looked up pastry shops and I was like, oh, this one's on a corner. And then, so it's got to be one that has a
chat.
Huh? I posted it in the chat.
Okay. Oh, I found it too. It's funny. I found it just within just 5 seconds of looking it up. See?
Is that the correct address?
I believe so.
I didn't have the address listed anywhere.
Let's see.
But I remembered buying a box of pastries across the street.
Let me see. Yes, that's the right place.
Yes. So there you have it. Little rinky dink. If you walked past it, you'd be like, oh, this little tiny place. Go in there. And when you go in there, tell him, hey, make me your best sandwich. Tell him that. As long as he will make it a little spicy. So if you're okay with spicy, have him make it how he likes it. banging sandwich.
It was amazing food. I loved it, man. I was like, I want to eat it all day, every single day. I know I wouldn't feel the same if I actually ate it every day, but that's how
I told you I would like to just like if I had investors, I would like just look, dude, whatever it takes, come over here. Or what you would do, or what you could do, send some people over there. Send some people over there. Say, work in his shop for free for 2 months, learn how to make all these sandwiches, and then come back and make them over here, and we will be rich.
You see, Aaron Walderslater said it is part of Oxford University. It's actually not. It really is not. It is called Oxford Union, and it has Oxford symbols, but it's not part of Oxford University. It was just started by Oxford University students and mostly hosts them, but it is not connected to Oxford University.
Yeah, I just
try
looked
to
it up.
disprove me, I will humiliate you.
I just looked it up. It said no, Oxford Union is not part of Oxford University. The Oxford Union is a separate, independent organization from the University of Oxford.
I will destroy you if you try to refute. Look at these freaking babies, man.
He just said, how can I listen to this? He just said Palestinians are pathetic. We can't have a discussion anymore. I can't listen. Oh my gosh. I need to get out of here.
Freaking babies, man.
Yeah, and I mean, think about this, right? I mean, he's saying some pretty inflammatory things right there. Why wouldn't they want to expose him for that? Because he knew exactly what he was doing. He was, hey, let me go in here and say something and watch these maniacs flip out while we're recording. And then all their faces and all the stuff they're going to be yelling is going to expose them for being a bunch of evil, sick people. And the whole world is going to find out how these people actually support slaughtering, raping, torturing, and so on civilians as long as they're Israelis. So he planned it. He got him to do it. Dude, I like the way he's thinking. He's like, hey, I can go ahead and blurt something out and people think I'm a bad guy and stuff like that. And I don't care as long as they get exposed as well. I like that thinking, but it's messed up that they wouldn't post it.
This makes sense.
He won that one.
It might be that technically it is independent, but alumni of Oxford University all get lifetime member. Yeah, that might be that. That's probably that makes sense because it's for Oxford University students. So I get that. Probably makes sense. Was just pointing out that it's not officially part of the university. So it's just a student society. Yep.
They want to delegitimize someone who's born in that land.
Point of order has been raised.
Don't you dare
Have to
say
raise
that.
point of order.
I have two Palestinians.
Sit down.
He's a Palestinian.
The speaker just insulted me personally and many
Down.
Order. It is not for you to tell them to sit down. But order.
I bet that none of these people who are there freaking out right now actually grew up or lived a proper amount of time in the Middle East. Sound like a bunch of spoiled little babies that are that lived in the West and think the worst thing that can happen to you is the worst thing that can happen to any human is being insulted and hearing mean words. Mean words is literally genocide. OMG.
Isn't that crazy, by the way, how
losers.
how
They want to talk about war. They want to talk about killing. They want to talk about rising up and literally killing civilians. They just justified it by saying that they wouldn't report it. And then they are so upset because he called them pathetic.
Yeah, dude, universities are going about this completely wrong, right? You've got all these students, they're acting like maniacs, calling for annihilating, wiping out an entire people and wiping out an entire nation and so on. And simultaneously, if you say one word they disagree with, they act like they're going to fall apart and stuff, and they need safe spaces and they need safe zones and they need to be kept from hearing any sort of criticism. Doing it the exactly wrong way, universities. If a bunch of students show up and they say, "Oh, we want to call for wiping out Israel, but you can't make us hear anything," I'll be like, "Okay, you want to go to school here? You're going to sit in the room and listen to Mossab Hassan Youssef 24 hours a day for the next week until you get used to hearing things you don't like."
I just want to quickly read this. What is this? This is a statement by Oxford Union. On Thursday, why is Twitter still like this? On Thursday, November, the Oxford Union held a debate on the motion, "This House believes that Israel is an apartheid state responsible for genocide." We are aware that this debate and others this term have provoked strong reactions from some of our members and the wider community. Yeah, it seems that your members are just a bunch of crybabies. As a union, we are unwavering in our commitment to free speech. This means difficult or controversial views can be expressed and challenged. The Oxford Union has a proud tradition of hosting debates on the most challenging issues of the day, and it is this commitment to open discourse that sets us apart. Really, Oxford Union, if you want to prove that you are open to controversial discussions, invite me and I'll give you a controversial discussion. And it is this commitment.
I hope you won't die. I'm the apostate prophet. You do not deserve to live. I hope you die today.
The union does not endorse the views expressed by any of the speakers. The speakers for the proposition were Muhammad al-Kurd. I freaking hate this guy. And
that's your best buddy.
The thing is, he's a Palestinian native who is named al-Kurd. He's Kurdish. He's not native. Ibrahim Osman Muwafi. That is the president of Oxford Union. Susan Abul Hawa and Miko Peled. The speakers for the opposition were Jonathan Sacerdote. Oh, that's the guy. Natasha Hausdorff. I heard she's brilliant. Yusuf Haddad and Mossab Hassan Youssef. The thing is, I mentioned Jonathan Sacerdote earlier, who also uploaded this video that we were watching,
Johnny Sack,
or the audio. I was actually supposed to meet him when I went to London, but I couldn't find the time, so that's kind of funny.
Your loss.
The withdrawal of a guest speaker at short notice necessitated an additional speaker for side proposition, which was filled by Mr. Ibrahim Osman Muwafi. The withdrawal of a guest speaker. Also, they included the president then. During the debate, 2 individuals were directed to withdraw from the floor of the House. One was a member from the audience, and the second was an opposition speaker. Both individuals were abusing the forms of the House, and before being removed, both were given warnings. In keeping with our usual practice, the full debate will be uploaded onto the Oxford Union's YouTube channel on the Thursday, 5th of December.
That's 4 days ago, eh?
Interesting.
But it's not there.
I think Yusuf Haddad was removed.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure he was removed. Wasn't he? I don't know. Let me see. The full debate will be uploaded. Let's check if it's David.
Yusuf Haddad's there.
Why are you guys pretending that they didn't upload it if they clearly uploaded it? Let me see. The full debate will be uploaded, they said, on December 5th. Ben Habib, Islam, Democracy. So it should be here then. Huh.
Nope. They got 6 of them up. What was it supposed to be? 8?
Huh.
8 or 9? 8 or 9 or 10? They have 6 of them.
Interesting. Ibrahim Osman Muwafi, Muhammad al-Kurd. This guy. Kurd. Jonathan. This guy. So, am I getting this right? The only person missing here is Mossab Hassan Youssef.
No, there's at least one other person because it was at least 4 on each side, and I see 6.
Miko Susan Abu Hava. Who is Miko? Miko Peled. Miko Peled is missing.
Where's Miko?
Who is Miko? Who is Miko?
We find no Miko.
We Miko.
Miko has been replaced by Sneeko. That would be funny.
Miko, where is Miko? Miko, where is you? Where is you? So they said the full debate would be published on December 5th, and they weren't published. December 5th, the full debate was not published. What happened? What happened? What happened, Mr. Oxford Union? What happened?
I gave my theory. I think it is correct. It is correct. There are a bunch of people whose faces appear in the video, and they acknowledged that about 95% of them support killing Israeli civilians, and they did not want it on the internet where someone could just go through, look, this person right here, who's that person right there? They know it, right? You'll have people who do that, like on Twitter. They will actually take a screenshot of this person's face, say who is this and stuff, and say this person actually supports killing civilians and so on. So I think it's pretty clear. They just Mossad got him, but they had the video footage, so they can quiet it down.
Tonight we debate THB, America as a failing democracy. This is not the one. First segment of video. House believes Israel is apartheid state. Let me see. Tonight we debate this. This is very funny. First segment of videos on the debate. This house believes that Israel is an apartheid state responsible for genocide can be watched on YouTube. Proponent links. Whoever, do they hire some idiot to write this, or is this just the way Oxford students nowadays write?
Yeah, Oxford students are pretty much morons, so.
Pretty retarded, it looks like. Kurd published, Susanna Bahava published, Muwafi published, links for opposition, and then they have made no explanation as to why the rest of it is not out.
There we go. You have people asking too, where is Mossad Hassan Yusuf's speech? You obviously purposely left it out on YouTube as well. Wait, what's that? Yeah, they did. So why do you keep scrolling past all this?
Huh. You're nothing but a bunch of middle-class, overly privileged, cut-price Hitler youth. You stick in me, a lot of you should be expelled from a place of learning. Your minds are closed. Alhamdulillah. The last bastion of free speech.
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me? That's
Isn't it great? The last bastion of free speech gets taken over by freaking jihadis who get to silence the opposition. You're like, gosh, Islam. Seriously, what does Islam touch that it doesn't completely ruin?
Wait a minute. Wait.
Don't tell me to wait.
Wait a minute. Wait. The Oxford Union has a reputation as one of the world's most prestigious debating societies and is a bastion of free speech.
Because it says it right there.
But has found itself at the center of a censorship row after publishing muted footage of a debate on genocide. Jonathan Sagardoti, a Jewish journalist and Oxford alumnus, was heckled and abused during a speech opposing a student motion branding Israel an apartheid state responsible for genocide. One woman shouted at Mr. Sagardoti that he was a liar before adding "F you, the genocidal mother effer." A spokesman for counterterrorism policing Southeast said it was making inquiries into reports of a person expressing support for a proscribed organization during the event. Mr. Sagardoti has now accused this 200-year-old society of airbrushing out the abuse leveled against him by muting parts of a video of his speech uploaded to YouTube. Did they actually do that? This is making me sick, man.
This is pretty. I mean, it is.
This makes me sick.
It is brilliant in the sense that it's good for people's true colors to be exposed.
I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors.
What a beautiful.
Yeah, we had perfect harmony going there. We like the Everly Brothers.
Accusations. True discussion, useless. I see this clearly. Loops. Hacked is some.
I don't know where the muted part is. I can't find it now. But yeah, whatever. I believe you. Around 8 minutes into the footage, he says that Israel has given 700,000 tons of food to Gaza, which prompts shouts from the audience. And then some peeps here spoke against the motion, but accused the union of airbrushing out. Let's see. This is funny. 8. Let's see. Minute 8.
Average of 3,200 calories per person. The NHS in this country.
Oh,
Order. The speaker is entitled to be heard in silence.
excuse me. Stop yelling your genocidal nonsense out, because then people will know what we really stand for. Silence.
Why did they mute this?
Because someone's yelling stuff. Oh, and look. So people are yelling stuff. Is that Mossab there? That's Mossab.
Yeah, there's Mossab. Yosef Haddad got up and shouted back and is now telling the person to get the hell out of here.
You are not even fit to be a student. If I have to choose between everyone in this audience and the cow, I will choose the cow.
They actually really muted this whole part. What in the world is wrong
That's
with
nuts. Yeah, this is the last bastion of free speech.
you?
Everyone.
Well, if this is the last bastion of free
We're
speech, then I have bad news for free speech, man.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, you got Speaker's Corner where you're supposed to be able to go and say whatever you want and so on. Islam ruins it. You got the Oxford Union, the last bastion of free speech. Islam ruins it. You have MPs now calling for Sharia blasphemy laws against Islam, and the PM nodding in agreement at how awesome an idea that is. And if you point it out, you're wrong. If you point it out, hey, Islam has serious problems and it's actually calling for the destruction of Western civilization. Nope, you're a racist and you're a bigot, and yet you can see it right in front of your face 24/7.
I see it.
I want to put this on back here somewhere. I just want. Is this visible?
Boo! 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 If you said it about Israel, we'd be fine with it. But when you say it about a just terrorist group, boo! How dare you, boo!
Okay. I guess that works too.
That's actually not a bad little mic cover there.
Right?
It's not,
Pretty good.
not terrible. It's not terrible.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Israel is doing a fantastic job.
You need a little version of that can sit right there on your mic, dude. Seriously, like permanently. Just a smaller version, like half the size of that one.
Maybe I can attach it over here, and then that'll be fine. Wait a minute. No, I'm gonna.
But it's a very rude thing to say, though. What?
It is. Alhamdulillah. Wait a minute. A moment of professionalism right here.
Yeah, guys, we're basically almost an hour into the show, and AP's still trying to figure out how stickers work.
Our moment of professionalism.
Just stick it on your head, dude. Hey, you should have it on the side. You get a smaller one and have it on your headphones, and then anytime someone says something, you just like turn to them. What? Hey, look. Then you could go, "What's that you say?" And it says something about Hamas.
Yeah, something like this. I don't care, man. Whatever. Anyway, here.
You know, it'd be really cool spending another 10 minutes on this.
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, right. Yeah. You have terrorists sitting in here. Look, people with terrorist gear sitting in here. It's just so funny, man. This is what the West has become. This is why I just want to say it every single time, just to rub it in, that I think the West is incredibly stupid. Western people are very stupid, very naive, very dumb.
No, not me though.
Incredibly
super
dumb.
Smart.
Like the average Western person has become so incredibly stupid, so dumb.
You hear this?
Imagine.
Everyone hear this? This Turkish guy showing his true colors, what he really thinks about non-Turks.
The Western people are so stupid. It's like helplessly stupid.
Hey, in that article, it said that they told one of the opposition speakers to get out. You think that was Mossab? Think they made him leave?
No, I think it was actually Yosef Haddad. But let me see.
They made him leave?
Let me see. Actually, Jonathan has the full version here. Let me see. This is minute 10 or something.
As truth. Discriminated against them, provided.
The speakers are trying to be heard in silence and to be...
No, they're cursing.
Excuse me. In this country.
Order. The speakers are trying to be heard in silence and to be...
No, they're cursing. That's different. They're cursing. That's different.
Yes.
They need to get out.
If she doesn't get out, if she doesn't get out, all of us go out.
Please. You may not address the chair unless you make...
Get him out. Get out.
Order.
Oh yeah, I can hear cursing.
Order.
Get it out. Get it out.
Speaker will be heard.
Get it out.
Can you maintain order? Could I ask the member?
اطلع برا.
Could I ask the speaker not to respond? Could I ask? Order. Could you please do correct the member? Order. You say the phone to the house.
It's okay, I don't want you to lie to me. يلا برا. 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 برا.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Order now. Order.
Islam ruins everything.
Order.
it
Hold on.
touches.
Order. What do you think this is actually? These are things that you say, order, like in a house where there is actual order, and where it is not the norm to not have order. Where it is not the norm to have. This is something that you say in a house where you don't have a bunch of terrorist supporters. How do you think you will have terrorist supporters and terrorists under control by just saying order, mate, order. Order.
The speaker will be heard. The house will come to order. The member will be taken care of in the...
If the house doesn't come to order, I will blow myself up right here.
The speaker will continue.
In this room, who don't agree with us, who don't...
That is interesting. Anyway, let's continue with the Musab Hassan Youssef speech here. Oh, actually, I was reading the article, wasn't I?
Yeah.
The president of the Union, Ibrahim Osman Muwafi, can be heard saying the speaker is entitled to be heard in silence before the audio cuts off for almost 2 minutes, at which point Mr. Sakrudi says he was abused. Mr. Sakrudi last night uploaded his own video of the event, spliced with an audio recording of his speech and mobile phone footage shot by his husband. It shows how his speech was halted by the chaotic scenes. Mr. Sakrudi said of the chaos, if students today, and especially those in our premier university, can debate and talk rationally and calmly on a contentious issue, then there is a problem. It is the latest in a string of controversial incidents affecting the debating society, which is run by Oxford students. It did not respond to requests for comment. Well. It's very funny, man. Very funny. Looks like everything is going exactly as it should. Free speech society and stuff, Order, mate.
Order. Could I have order from the
The speaker just insulted me personally and is
Order.
The speaker just insulted me personally and insulted many Palestinians, and I asked him to be escorted out of the chamber in the same manner that a fellow student was escorted out of the chamber when she was alleged to have insulted.
Again, I have to speak to the speaker was out of order.
Ooh, see? They asked Mossab to leave.
No, it wasn't Mossab. They were talking about Yosef Haddad while Mossab was speaking. Let me see. Let me confirm that.
Well, yeah, I don't know, because based on what we just heard, he called Palestinians pathetic, and it sounded like the guy was saying the speaker just insulted me and many Palestinians, so he should be removed since you removed a girl.
Order, mate. What happened with this guy here?
From the river to the sea, including the 2 million Arab Israelis, which is a blended lie from the river to the sea. You can win, and you know what?
This time, I asked you to respect the rules of the House.
Fine, I'm done.
He has been very generous with this time. I asked you to respect the rules of the House.
Fine, I'm just four less words. You know what you're losing because you thought you could destroy Israel, but Israel is here to stay.
What do you mean generous with this time? Interesting. Anyway, man.
What order? Are you enjoying this? Enjoying? Are you smiling? Are you enjoying this? It's very funny that you're enjoying this. It's not for your entertainment. It's not entertaining. It's a stop smiling. Idiot.
The speaker made absolutely no reference to anyone in this chamber. He passed an opinion on his own people. Will be please be allowed to continue to discuss.
See, that's talking about Mossab.
How important his voice is.
He said Palestinians are pathetic, but he's Palestinian. So.
Order. I have made my ruling directly.
What is your ruling? As it not insult anyone in the room?
Order.
Yes.
Order.
Given that this is a speaker who was invited by this union, was then attempts being made to prevent him from coming here to speak, and now we have seen that committed again in the course of this speaker speaking. He has a right to freedom of speech. He has a right to speak in this chamber as an invited guest of this union. To order him out as a result of the opinion he has expressed on his own people brings this union into disrepute.
Well, they tried to invite him and block him already before this happened. That's quite funny.
They probably certainly did, and were losing their minds. Which, I mean, guys, that kind of says something in itself. Like, if you believe you can show that Israel is an apartheid state and is guilty of genocide, why wouldn't you want Mossab there? Going to get a lot more attention to your debate. And if you can humiliate and destroy his points, why wouldn't you want to do that in front of all of YouTube? Instead, what do? Sounds like you try to keep him from coming. Then once he's there, you get him kicked out, and then you never post the video footage of it. That's telling me a lot.
Well, here's the thing.
Without even listening to anything, it's telling me a lot.
Here's the thing. With all due respect, I just want to point out one thing. It is, of course, totally necessary for people like those who oppose the motion to go there and argue. However, that said, these pathetic people, by which I'm referring to the entirety of the Oxford Union in this state, all they can do here is to discuss whether they believe, whatever that matters, they believe that Israel is an apartheid state that is committing genocide. Nobody gives a flying fig about what they decide. Nobody cares about whether they think it is an apartheid state or not. Nobody cares if they think there is a genocide or not. Nobody cares if they think that there is that Israel is committing crimes or not. Nobody cares. They can all come together, and 100% of all members can come together and decide that Israel is bad. It would not matter at all. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Come on, AP, not entire union. That one chick speaking on his defense seems like a good egg. No, the entirety. I'm referring to the entirety. Of course, in the union there will be good people who are against this pathetic trajectory. But But in the current state, it seems like a completely ridiculous club of just babies crying and trying to form an opinion that they think matters in the real world. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your stupid opinion, you freaking babies.
And think about how, again, how Islam just ruins everything. You'll take a good idea. The United Nations is a good idea. It's a good idea in principle. Let's have something where all representatives of all the nations can get together and discuss things and iron things out. What happens? Bunch of Muslim majority nations enter into it, which would be fine. But what do? They use it to turn it into something which destroys its purpose. They do the same thing with the ICC. They do the same thing with the Oxford Union. They'll do the same thing with really everything, social media platforms and so on. They'll just keep in there organized complaints and so on until they basically ruin it and make it one-sided. And somehow you're still just a racist if you don't like all the rules of your society and every good thing in your society being transformed to bring it in line with the ramblings of an illiterate 7th century Arabian caravan robber and pedophile.
Caravan robber.
Why is there some stupid bot who is posting fake Talmud quotes in the chat? Groper.
It's what they do. It's what they do.
Groper.
We got the gropers.
Is one of those people who got one of those graphs where there are supposed Talmud quotes and then just post them in the chat.
And like and like a third of the sources they're quoting are fake, made up. They're made up.
from the book of God, Chas.
Yeah.
And Libre David.
Libre David, number 67, it's in there. Really? Can you show us Libre David anywhere? Oh, I thought in a meme posted by Nick Fuentes.
There was this other thing the other day where somebody posted a supposed Talmud, a supposed quote in response to something that I posted, which was my post about Hitler. When I made a post about Hitler, as I always do. I said Hitler hated Christianity and aimed to replace it after the war, yet a confused minority of people worship Hitler while pretending to be Christians. Christianity and Nazism are fundamentally incompatible. You can't genuinely follow both. And then some guy here comes and this is so funny.
You're brown.
You're brown. I said just more evidence that your superiority is nonsense. But later on,
white guy.
Later on, I thought about this and I thought I should have said, "You mean like Jesus?"
Look, but this dope got 273 likes. You're brown.
It just shows once again that the West is just getting completely stupid. I don't know, man.
You see this? The Turk once again saying that all white people are stupid.
Western people, what's wrong with you all? What's happening?
White Westerners are stupid, he just said.
Was Martin Luther a Christian? Yes, he was. He was also quite a lunatic, sorry to say. And I know some people will not like to hear that, but that's just the truth. It's some guy came. Oh yeah, here. Posts this and with this quote here: "Show no mercy to the goyim. Hilkoth akum x1, the Jewish Talmud."
Yes.
What is this even? No such thing exists. What kind of a source is X1 anyway?
It's from the Jewish Talmud. It means 10-1.
X1. No, it's X1. It's not 10-1. It's X1. It's X1 right there. It's not 10-1. It's X1. It's X1. Hilkoth akum. X1. I mean, the funny thing is, the first thing you could do is just the shortest thing you could do is just to Google it, right? Just Google it. Just Google the source for a second. And the easiest thing to do would be just Google the source that you are trying to put on a meme. You will immediately find that the source does not exist. Why are these people so dumb? And then they go around claiming that they are actually superior. You are imbeciles, probably inbred morons. And I said, can you give me a link to this Hilkoth Akum? And nobody could give me a link. I don't know. Nobody could give me a link. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. And when I say that these guys are probably a bunch of inbred people, I know what I'm talking about. Because I come from a culture of cousin marriage. Alhamdulillah.
I have made my ruling very clear. Mr. Speaker, please proceed without making any disparaging references to any population. Please continue.
That's a ruling? That's funny. So you can't say that Palestinians are pathetic? That's ridiculous, man. Bastion of free speech.
They want to delegitimize my right to exist because I oppose their violent ideology. Then they want to cry day and night of a victim.
Order. I have to have one order. The speakers of the opposition have spent some time today.
Violent ideology. Then they want to cry day and night of a victim.
Order. I have to have one order. The speakers of the opposition have spent some time today insulting Zionists, Israelis.
Not true.
Israel being
Not true. Not Israelis. Not Israelis. That's not true. Not Jews and not Israelis.
Oh, you can apparently say whatever you want about Zionists.
And that's the issue. That's the issue, right? I mean, I guarantee any one of the speakers could have, it's all genocide, genocide is all they do. They're genocide, they're trying to take over the world and they run the banks, and that would all be fine.
You can say whatever you want about Zionists. He said, oh, I didn't say Jews, I didn't say Israelis, I said Zionists. Okay, so you can say whatever you want about Zionists. Oh, Zionists, they sacrifice babies and drink their bloods. They made babies disappear. The Zionists
babies and the
control
crackers.
the whole world. They want to do this and this and that. They want to eat us all alive. Well, I didn't say Jews, I said Zionists, right?
Yeah. This, I mean, as far as like calling into question, like whether the Oxford Union has any credibility left at all as an open debate organization and so on. Guys, I have to say, if you are ever invited to the Oxford Union to debate, you need to insist that you be allowed to record it yourself. I don't mean on your cell phone. It's like, I want to have a camera in there and I want to be plugged into your audio system and be recording this entire thing myself, because once you guys start acting like idiots and showing your true colors, you're going to try and cover it up like you did with Mossad. So under no circumstances am I agreeing to speak there unless I get to record it as well, so I can post it when you try to cover it up. Bunch of cowards.
Bunch of cowards. Anyway, David, let's go through a few super chats here. What do you think? Do you think that's an acceptable thing to do, or what do you think?
I will choose the super chats.
Alhamdulillah. Zionism is based. Let's do that. Okay.
Learn a new feature. Never seen you use that. Is that new, or you just don't normally use it?
I just don't use it very much. But
Pretty funny.
It's quite good. So, super chats. The Oxford speech will create many great laughs and some deep emotion. Well, we listened to you, dear Gargatry, and we started playing it, so I hope you're happy now. Berliner mit Berliner said, real professionals, David Wood always writes his real live post after stream started. AP changes topic after stream started.
That's true. We're super professionals.
That's what they do. Bully McGuire says, in my dreams, I saw a revelation that AP was the next prophet. I saw 72 goats kissing Muhammad and Allah arms, groin. That's funny. That's a
In
good
my dreams, I vision myself at the ocean, beautiful girls rubbing me down with some lotion, even though you know I got these 72 babes. What?
Boomer. Did y'all see what Wes Hoof? Did y'all see what Wes Hoof posted? That Wes Hoof posted the full debate with Billy Carson.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff about that, but I have until recently I had no idea who Wes Huff is. Someone brought it up a couple weeks ago. And then Billy Carson, I had no clue who that was until it came out that they had had a debate and Billy Carson demanded that it be taken down or something like this. And then something, but I haven't been following it. So
Something.
No idea what any of that is about.
I have no idea either.
Matter of fact, let me look up while you're pulling up Super Chat.
Apparently, IP is right. IP is live with Hoof or something. I don't know.
And apparently, it's an important issue because they got 3,400 people watching. Live, which means there's a lot of people who are interested in something that I've never heard about. Billy Carson. Who is that? Who is Billy Carson? Dang it.
AP, I want that hat for real, for real. Maybe I should sell merch.
You should. Why wouldn't you?
That's a good idea. I'm gonna write that down.
I see a true callous.
I'm gonna make it a super cheap hat with this on it, so that everyone can have one, and you can give it to your grandparents and grandchildren, and so on, and your descendants and your descendants. I don't really care much about the whole about all the debates on religion anymore at this moment, so I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, if someone's in stubborn rebellion, then what do they do?
Alhamdulillah. Leave off of Vine Eternal said, son of a terror group's founder. This is a terror group I of all people should know. Some crumpet eaters.
No. You're the real terrorist.
It's super Zionists. I don't think it's terrorism. I think it's so cool. It's like resistance is amazing, man. Sketch therapy is Oxford Union like Federal Express, not federal. Yes.
That's funny. Like Oxford Union, like Western Union.
Yeah. Devin Klassen says, a suggested merch idea shirt, an Arabic restating Surah in Nisa 497. I'd wear it. What is 497?
Don't do it.
What is Surah 947?
I said don't do it.
What is Surah 947?
Don't do it.
What is Surah 947?
Don't do it.
Indeed, those whom the angels take in death while wronging themselves, in what condition were they will say we were oppressed in the land. The angels will say, was not the earth of Allah spacious for you to emigrate therein? For those their refuge is hell, and evil it is as a destination. You could just put, I was going to paraphrase it in my own words, but I decided not to in the last moment. So it's basically a message for Muslims to say, if you don't feel happy here, just get out and go somewhere else. Still Dr. Whitemeat said, thanks for the year, bro. Love you and Daily Wire. GB, Great Britain, your families. I keep you all in my daily prayers. You strengthen my iman, and I'm extremely grateful. Thank you so much. Great Britain, you and too, and Great Britain, your family as well. So Dr. Whitemeat, appreciate it. Thank you. Always happy to have you here. Tweak 87. Why do Muslims men send their women out to wail against things they hate? This is very racist, and it's only 99% true. I am Belina Belina. Came for ChatGPT, stayed for Mossab and the children. Some people are asking what's with my interview with Mossab Hassan Youssef. I actually have it ready, finished, produced, uploaded, prepared to publish. I have been, however, thinking about adding a little section of something to it this entire time, which I haven't gotten around to do.
Yeah, so it's best to just sit on it perpetually until you eventually decide whether you're gonna.
Yes, I thought I
what do you
should
think?
just wait and see, publish it sometime within the next 2 years or so. I'll see.
Well, you don't know. It might be more relevant 5 years from now.
Possibly. Maybe Mossab will die or something, and then I could just publish that and say, hey, I had an interview with him before he died, and publish it then. That would be best. I am believing, or maybe I would die, and then I could publish it. I'm believing that came for okay. The Quran is far better to Christians than the Talmud. Mr. Calvin Robinson, I actually texted Mr. Calvin Robinson recently and said, hey, how about we have a discussion on this?
That would be good. That would be good, because he doesn't seem to be very well informed on this issue.
He doesn't, and it's kind of it's a little bit funny to me.
Hey, have you seen him recently? He's been, to be clear, guys, Calvin Robinson is he'll say whatever he thinks and so on, and so that's cool a lot of times until he doesn't seem to get something. Like recently, he's been complaining about the phrase Judeo-Christian values. Like, what? Why do you say Judeo? Why do you say Judeo? Well, there's a reason, because it comes from the old covenant, right? Like, so you take something like, if you say, well, the Christian idea that human beings are created in the image of God, that has played a big role. Well, that's a Judeo-Christian idea. It's part of Judaism and Christianity, right? That's why it had an impact, and it's in Judaism and Christianity. The love your neighbor, don't oppress foreigners, and so on. These are not just Christian ideas; they're Judeo-Christian ideas, and so it's simply true to refer to certain ideas as Judeo-Christian ideas. There are ideas in the New Testament that do not come from the Old Testament. There you could just say a Christian idea or something like Christian value or something like that. If it's in both, it's kind of weird to just kind of steal credit for it, even though it was also in like the Torah and so on.
I mean, what's so bad about putting Judaism and Christianity due to their problem with this? Except you have a problem with Judaism, with Jews. It's so weird.
It's extremely weird. I mean, when you read the New Testament, you read like the Book of Acts and so on.
Paul didn't have a problem with it.
You read the writings of the Apostle Paul. Guys, these guys did not think they're starting some new religion.
Yes, exactly.
It's hey guys, here's the Messiah. Here's the Messiah, the one we've been waiting on. Here, and so there are Jews who are recognizing him as the Messiah and Jews who aren't recognizing him as the Messiah. These guys weren't like, hey, let's go set out and form our own religion and so on.
So here is I'm not sure what they're talking about, who this guy is, but the Talmud is uniquely hostile toward Jesus Christ. Islam may play off Christianity. It is a Christian heresy, but Talmudic Judaism is explicitly anti-Christian. This is an incredibly ignorant statement on so many different levels. I could make a whole live stream about just this alone. This is just a completely ignorant statement on so many levels.
Yeah, on a lot, especially since he's saying Talmudic Judaism is explicitly anti-Christian, as if Islam isn't. Islam is actually better. Islam may play off Christianity, but wait, what are you talking about? Islam calls for the violent subjugation of Christians.
Look, I don't know why some people don't want to hear this, but there's just one thing. There are some people who are going around actually thinking, I referred to Martin Luther as a lunatic earlier because he was in that same camp. Some people are actually going around and suggesting, because they have a problem with Jews, that Judaism is explicitly anti-Christian and anti-Jesus or something like that. I'll tell you something very, 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 very interesting, a very interesting fact. And you can ask this to any rabbi, to any practicing Jew, to any non-practicing Jew, to anyone out there. Jews do not spend 1% of their daily life, do not spend 1% of their lives thinking about Christians, talking about Christians, thinking about Jesus, or talking about Jesus. Now, you might say, some people might get this the wrong way and say, oh, that's not good. Well, you know what the point here is? The point here is they don't care. So the whole accusation that apparently there is this giant conspiracy where Judaism, where the Jews are cursing Christians day and night and cursing Jews day and night, it's complete nonsense. It is complete nonsense. Most Jews go through their lives without ever thinking about Christianity or about Jesus. That's it. That is the truth of it. That is the reality of it. The Talmud spends, the Talmud takes years to read and study because it's not a book. It's a giant library, and it mentions twice or two instances or two characters that are occasionally associated with Jesus. One is Yeshu something something, the other is Yeshu son of something something. One of those historically doesn't line up with Jesus, but anti-Semites frequently disregard all of those surrounding facts, of course, and use anything that they can as this is talking about Jesus. They even use characters that are completely unrelated to Jesus or Yeshu and say this is talking about Jesus. No, the Talmud only has apparently two instances where a Yeshu is mentioned that could correspond to Jesus. However, that is very loosely mentioned by a rabbi to simply make a certain judgment about something that Jews do among themselves to entice each other to do certain unacceptable acts. It counts a character named Yeshu as part of those, and seemingly says that he was one who called people to idol worship. And that's it. This is one rabbi from nearly 2,000 years ago saying something like this. And Jews today don't sit down and are like, okay, we all, as Jews collectively, we all know we have a responsibility to sit down and study that part of the Talmud and memorize it and keep it in our hearts and preach it. No, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Except for those who study it. Those who study it don't really care about it either, because it is just a very fleeting mention that is quite unclear, like many other fleeting mentions in the Talmud relating to many other different things. It has literally no role at all. 0.0000001% of Jewish thought, of Talmudic thought, of the Talmudic text, and so on. Nobody cares, man.
Hey, little interesting side fact. So the biggest problem in all this, AP, is that people still think of the Talmud the way they think of the Quran, like it's a collection of commands of God, and that it's binding on anyone who's part of that community. No, there is literally not one person on the planet who treats it that way, and you can't possibly. It is mentally impossible to take the Talmud the way that people think that you're taking. Why? It will say the exact opposite things. It will say Rabbi so-and-so said this, but Rabbi so-and-so responded with this, and it's the exact, they'll say completely opposite things. And so what will the groper do? They'll cling to the one and say, look at what the Talmud says. This is what Jews believe. And they'll assume that the Talmud is filled with these little claims and that it's binding upon Jews. And it's not. It's giving you a record of the discussions and debates among the rabbis, and people don't understand it. Hey, AP, interesting little side note. Messianic Jews study the Talmud as well.
Look at this.
Hey, hang on. This is an important point. Messianic Jews, Jews who believe that Jesus is the Messiah.
Yes.
They use the Talmud too. They study the Talmud too.
Yes.
They believe in the Talmud in the same way that Orthodox Jews believe. They believe it is an ongoing discussion among rabbis about various issues, and they'll actually quote it and agree with this rabbi or that rabbi and so on. How can they be using the Talmud when it says this about Jesus? They understand that's what some rabbi said. And guess what? They understand that they're free to reject what that rabbi said and to point out what this rabbi said and say, this rabbi over here, he gets it on whatever issue. And so it's just this weird, I don't know. It's so, if you wanted to say, hey, there's all sorts of stuff in the Talmud that I reject, fine, say it like that. When you act like it's comparable to the Quran, that it's just a collection of statements from God or something that are equally binding on all people, okay, that's complete idiotic nonsense. It's not true. If you say that this claim of this rabbi is somehow binding upon all, okay, you sound like a moron. It's not. That's not true. We've said it 1,000 times. You can criticize the Talmud, but how should you criticize it if you want to criticize it accurately? You say, okay, in the Talmud, Rabbi so-and-so said this, and that is bad. And therefore, any Jew who says, yes, we love what this rabbi said and he's right, then you could say, well, this is a problem. This is a problem. It's a problem for you if you agree with what that rabbi said. Under no circumstances should you be saying, this is what all Jews are saying behind the scenes, and this is what they're saying about us behind the scenes, because they're not. AP was correct. I pointed out that among Jews, you have this spectrum. So on one end of the spectrum, you have the Messianic Jews. They believe in Jesus. They believe in Jesus. They believe in the New Testament, so on. On the other end of the spectrum, you do have people who are condemning Jesus and saying really mean things about Jesus. And you have this entire spectrum in between. You have Jews. Pinchas Lapid is an example. He was an Orthodox Jew who believed that Jesus died on the cross and rose from the dead, but he believed it was for the Gentiles. So yeah, he believes that Jesus is the one who's going to be the light to the Gentiles and so on. Just doesn't believe he's the Messiah for Orthodox Jews. So I would disagree with that, but the guy does not have a negative view of Jesus. Okay. You have people who believe that Jesus was a kind of moral reformer, and they approve of his moral reforms and so on. You have Jews who believe that Jesus was a good rabbi, but that his teachings were misrepresented by later Christians, misunderstood and misrepresented by later Christians. As AP was pointing out, I just wanted to tie this back into what you were saying. As AP was pointing out, the dominant view seems to be they're not thinking about Jesus at all. The dominant view. Yeah. In other words, and I pointed this out the other day, in other words, they're not thinking like I think about Muhammad, right? They're not thinking like I'm hostile towards the teachings of Muhammad. I sit back and think, oh, I'm going to expose the teachings of Muhammad. It's not like me and Muhammad. It's more like me and Buddha, right? I don't agree with the teachings of the Buddha, but I don't care a whole lot about the teachings of the Buddha. And I'm not thinking about Buddha. I'm not thinking about Buddhism. I'm not blasting away at Buddhism, even though I don't believe in it and so on. That seems to be the most common position among Jews in Israel. It's like they're just not thinking about it. They're not thinking about it. And so when people come along and they're like, Jews are sitting around all day calling down curses upon calling down curses upon Christians and Jesus and so on. You sound like you're mental. You sound like you're mental.
Here's the thing. I want to just put up this comparison here. Some people really think that they are making a point and they can actually quickly reference the Talmud. I laugh. I really want somebody during a live debate to come to me and say, I read the Talmud. Really? So here's the Quran. How many words is the Quran? Here, 77,000.
Which version?
Now, how many words is the Bible? This goes by the Christian Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, 783,000. This is, by the way, very funny, considering that the Quran is very small in comparison.
Kind of little weakling book. The book for little weaklings.
Now, let's see how long the Talmud is. How many words the Talmud is. The Talmud has about 2 million words.
So about 3 times the size of the Bible, the 66 books of the
Most
Bible.
people who want to talk about the Talmud online have never even read or touched a Bible. And they think they think they can actually talk about the Talmud.
Or the Quran. So isn't this amazing? You got people who've never read the Talmud, never actually gone to the Talmud. All they've seen are like memes from gropers. They've never read the Bible. They've seen like people hold up a John 3:16 sign at a sporting event or something like that, but they've never opened the Bible. They've never opened the Quran. They've never, they may have heard stuff from us or something like that, but they've never opened the Quran. So they don't know the Bible. They don't know the Quran. They don't know the Talmud. And yet these are the people who will post endlessly online about the Talmud and the Bible. And
you will have people like this. I actually took screenshots of those and saved them somewhere to use for a video. You will have people who will say, this book is worse than the Quran. and they will bring out this thing. This is not the Talmud. Okay.
It is. It says it right there. Talmud.
I saw some guy like Lucas Gage actually burned this and was like, this book is terrible. This book is a very horrible book, which just shows that he never even opened this book. He got this just to burn it, and he never opened it. This book here, there's one book that is famously known as the Talmud. It is actually not the Talmud. It is just an introduction to the Talmud. It's actually a very nice book, by the way. It's a very nice book, by the way. Has some very, very interesting information on what the Talmud actually is, what it contains, and so on. It is a book called the Talmud, explaining the Talmud, because you can't have the Talmud shipped to you. If I wanted to order it, I would have to spend thousands of dollars getting it in different packages and so on to have it. And I would never do that, never touch it. Most Jews who even learn never ever go through the entire thing. They reference it. They have they go to Torah study to get references of the Talmud. It is not something that you read from beginning to end, because actually, you know what? I just want to link to one very, very interesting video. David, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say, if you wanted to do something awesome for 2025, set aside a bunch of time and read the Talmud. And then said, agnostic reads the Talmud. Agnostic is shocked after he reads the Talmud, or I read the entire Talmud, then this happened. People would watch that. People would watch that.
The Talmud is something that people read to, or that people reference as a source of references, like an encyclopedia, to look things up and to discuss certain things on. It's not meant to be read as a book. That's why. It has one core part, which is the original, which is the collection of text and discussions. Then it has an expanded part on top of it, which is discussions on those discussions. Then it has other what's it called? Tractates and other references on it, which are added to that, and further discussions and so on. I would suggest a video here, which is called it's right here, Jewish Learning Institute. What is the Talmud and how was it created? It's very funny because it's only 4 minutes long. But, you will get something. You will get something very, very interesting. You will get a very interesting insight here. Look, it also says that it's 2 million words.
Ha! They're right.
63 tractates, 2 million words, 523 chapters.
Let's get it to 3 million.
Actually, let's just have a very quick look at this.
Understand what the Talmud is, how it came to be created, and what a volume of Talmud contains. A volume of Talmud is not a book. It's a library of books. A typical volume of Talmud might include more than 100 works, composed by hundreds of authors over a period of more than 1,800 years. Let's deconstruct the daf and then rebuild it layer by layer.
Actually, before letting him do that, let's just have a look at that.
Years. Let's deconstruct.
This here is, it represents a page of the Talmud. But what is really happening here is that the text here in the middle, I think, is the Gemara, is the original discussions. The surrounding ones, discussions on that, commentaries, and then discussions by famous rabbis and others over time added to it, and so on. And all of it comes together because it is not a book. It is a huge, vast collection of knowledge and discussions and study and so on. It is when Jesus was around, there was no Talmud because there was because it was all oral. It was called the oral Torah. People were aside from having the written Torah, they were keeping the oral Torah, which is middle is Mishnah and Gemara. Okay, but they didn't have the written Torah. They had the written Torah, which is the Torah, and they had the oral Torah, which is prophets and others relaying information, instructions, and other things that were kept among the learned ones in society, in Jewish society. And it was all quite easy to collect. There was always a priestly class. There were the learned people who would keep the oral Torah and teach the oral Torah and so on. Around the time of Jesus, the temple was getting in trouble and danger and decline. In that century, the temple was destroyed. And the next century, the Jews were expelled in the most brutal case ever. And at that point, the Jewish scholars decided that they should, in order to not lose the oral Torah, which they preserve, which Jesus also was abiding by the way, that oral Torah, which they preserved for so long, they thought, okay, we don't have the temple anymore. We don't, and our society seems to really be drifted apart. We should probably write all of these things down. So they started a process of collecting everything that is the oral Torah into written format and having discussions about it. And that is what brings over time, over a very long period of time, the Talmud into existence. How do we know that Jesus was also abiding by oral Torah? He did certain things that are not part of the Torah. For example, he celebrated certain Jewish holidays that are not found in the Bible, that are not found in the written Torah, and so on. And for some reason, it escapes my mind which one I'm referring to. Did he celebrate Hanukkah? Anyway, so that's basically it.
Construct the daf, and then rebuild.
What?
Oh, I was going to say, since this is an issue that arises over and over again in a variety of contexts, but we keep saying like Dawa guys, for instance, they use arguments in an atmosphere of ignorance because it allows you to say whatever you want, and then no one knows how to respond. Well, lots of stuff with the Talmud is just like that, right? You share a meme, but you share it in an atmosphere of ignorance where people don't know what the Talmud is. They have no idea what the Talmud is. They have no idea how Jews understand the Talmud. They have no idea how different groups of Jews understand the Talmud, and so on. All they see is the quote. And so how do they respond? Well, it's not a situation where people are actually going to go and read the Talmud to find out. Therefore, someone else has to do the work for them. So AP in 2025, if you wanted to do something cool, I had suggested reading the entire Talmud or something like that. But a little side note would be if you came up with like some various questions and then got in contact with some rabbis to go interview them and have them explain some things, right? Look, you even go to the difficult passages. What about this? What about this? How would you read this as a rabbi? Do you think this is a command binding on you? What do you think about this? And so on. And go through that. Go through the memes with them. Go through all the memes that are shared by the gropers and let them explain everything. And to the extent that they can. And whatever difficulties remain, then fine. These are the difficulties that you have to deal with, people.
Alhamdulillah.
All I'm saying is, and we notice this in Israel, the people who are
but the people are retarded.
People who are dealing with the media and so on there just seem fairly clueless on what's being argued against them on social media. And they don't seem to have much of an interest. Like you won't find much of anyone over there who's interested in responding to claims about the Talmud. Okay, you don't like the Talmud, don't like the Talmud. So what? So anyway, the point is they're not going to do it. If anyone's going to address these memes, AP, by golly, you're the only one. You're the only one.
By golly.
John 10:22. John 10:22. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Alhamdulillah. Powerful. Here is Jesus in the Gospel of John, John 10:22, celebrating the festival of dedication. Then came the festival of dedication at Jerusalem. The festival of dedication, what is that? That is Hanukkah. That is not in the Bible. That's not in the Bible. It's in the oral Torah. It is non-biblical practice. But Jesus was participating in it.
By the way, that's an important passage for a completely different reason. Because Christmas is coming up. It's one of the issues that arises. They'll go, what? How could you celebrate Christmas when you were not commanded to celebrate Christmas? It's a human holiday invented by human beings. How can you do that? Or as people say, like, if Jesus didn't command you to use the internet, you can't use the internet and so on. Anyway, it's a weird thing that only comes up with people who are attacking Christmas. But that's an important point, because Jews weren't commanded to celebrate the Feast of Dedication.
Mm-hmm.
In the Old Testament, they just decided, wow, let's celebrate this. There was no command, and you shall celebrate this. It was just them saying, hey, this is really awesome. Let's celebrate this. Yeah. And then later on, you see Jesus going to Jerusalem for it. And so, wait a minute. That was not something that was commanded by God. That was a bunch of people saying, hey, let's get together and celebrate this. And it was fine. It was fine to say, let's celebrate this cool thing. And even Jesus thought it was fine.
Jesus celebrated Hanukkah. It was not a command by God. It was an occasion where they thought this is a very miraculous and very amazing event. We should celebrate this. And Jesus did it as well. You see?
To celebrate Hanukkah.
Anyway, stop talking.
Build it layer by layer. The oldest part of the Talmud is the Mishnah, compiled by Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi in the Holy Land more than 1,800 years ago. The Mishnah was the first officially transcribed record of Torah law, which up until that point had been handed down through the generations as an exclusively oral tradition. The Mishnah, however, is very concise, almost a shorthand. Over the next 300 years, many hundreds of Torah sages analyzed, discussed, and debated the teachings contained within the Mishnah. And these discussions became the Gemara, which together with the Mishnah constitute the Talmud. There are many pages of Gemara for each Mishnah, as these discussions often range far afield to include many additional teachings covering virtually every topic under the sun. The Gemara was completed in the beginning of the 6th century in Babylonia.
Anyway, so this is the whole thing. Go watch this video if you want to understand what the Talmud actually is, instead of listening to dumb idiots like Nick Fuentes.
No, the Talmud, it just says kill all the non-Jews and subjugate them. And by the way, additional side note. Suppose hypothetically that you had Jews who believed that the Talmud is what the gropers think about it, right? That it's this collection of commands from God telling you to go around and do all these things, and you have to obey all of it. Now, suppose it was actually like, it's not like that. Again, it says completely opposite things and so on from different rabbis. But suppose it was this collection of commands and that the gropers are accurate when they're quoting the Talmud, and that the Talmud is just filled with these commands and so on. Suppose that were the case. David, why wouldn't you be responding to the Talmud then and not the Quran? Well, supposing hypothetically that the Talmud was what the gropers say it was, I would still be going after the Quran. And I would become interested in this hypothetical Talmud that's like the Quran if there were 2 billion people trying to impose it on me. That's when I would become interested in it. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, David, why do you keep talking about the Quran? Because there are millions and millions and millions of adherents of it who want to impose it on me, and who openly say they're not just going to kill me, they're going to kill all my friends, because almost all my friends are either ex-Muslims or they're critics of Islam, or they're both. And so you have a book that has potentially massive implications for me and my family and my friends and Western civilization and so on. David, why are you focusing on that and not this book that gropers do not understand? And why aren't you focusing on dealing with these memes of gropers? I don't know, because I'm not a freaking moron. That something like that. What?
Because they want to grope people. Alhamdulillah.
And that they're allowed to be fair. Could I please allow to finish?
Nobody's
without
going to
any
stop
further
you.
points of order. Please continue.
All the interruptions are not going to help us. You have to face the reality and the truth the way it is. I was born in that land. It's my birthright. And I was born a Sudan. And I was born as a Arab. I wasn't born as a Sunni. Like millions of Arabs.
What did he say? I was born as a what?
And an Arab.
Right.
Not as a...
And I was born a Sudan. And I was born as a Arab. I wasn't born as a Sunni. Like millions of Arab children. And the Palestinians have been pushing the Palestinian violent indoctrination based on false narrative of apartheid, colonialism, genocide, occupation. While Palestine never existed as a sovereign country, it never existed itself as a colonial entity. And the joke on the Palestinians that they actually claim to be indigenous of the land, fighting against colonialism, while they choose a colonial entity as their national identity. How pathetic is that?
That's what he meant by pathetic. That's what he meant by
terrible.
pathetic earlier when he said, "Okay, so you guys were here as a colony, and you have a colonial identity, and then you complain about colonialism all day."
Well, they are quite pathetic, I have to say, Palestinians, in that regard.
Insofar as they are doing that, that would be pathetic, even though we wouldn't just blanket statement all Palestinians are pathetic. We wouldn't say that, because there are super cool Palestinians. I've met some of them. They're super cool, super base Palestinians. In fact, your guys are hearing from one right now.
Yeah, there are 2 or 3. Yeah, definitely. I would say. I would admit. Don't want to put all of them together in one camp. Yeah.
I find it really unbelievable that the Palestinians continue spreading this lie, and millions of people around the world are believing it. If you ask them what is Palestine, if you ask them what is Palestine, they don't know how to answer. If you ask them what makes a Palestinian Palestinian, they don't know how to answer. Stop interrupting me. Sit down. We hear. Sit down. Stop interrupting me. And listen.
Stop interrupting, you cow.
The president is so useless, apparently. He is right on the issue, which is that Palestine is a made-up entity that does not refer to an actual sovereign nation, that does not refer to an actual sovereign country, that does not refer to an actual people, and so on. And the funny thing is that this entire year long, I have been wanting to make a very short or a very clear breakdown of the history of Palestine, just to point out these things. But I have been suffering from this block and this sickness which prevents me from sitting down and making videos like I used to. And every day I'm sitting there and trying to make myself do it. And I feel like sometimes I really need help. I really need help.
You do. You need mental help.
I need help. I need people surrounding me and need help. I really need help.
Yeah, it's funny because we know what the cause is. It's called creator burnout, but you've been dealing with it longer than most people. Most people, they deal with creator burnout, and then it's like 4 months, 6 months, or something like that. Guys, just basically being a YouTuber, it has the same effect on your brain as like cocaine, right? You're getting these just blasts of everything. Just people watching and comments and feedback. You wake up and you're doing that, and then you work all day and you post something, and then you're checking it and stuff like this, and you wake up and it's like there is no break. It's not like you go here and work 8 hours and then you come home and then there's this free. You're doing it 24 hours a day, and it fries your brain over time, and you don't realize it because it's like you're on cocaine for years, and then all of a sudden you just are completely burnt out one day and you can't make yourself do anything. And then you normally wait 4 months or 6 months or something like that. But AP's waited like 7 years now.
Pretty much. Let's see. Israel and America. Israel and the United States have taken out the entire air force of Syria, military research facilities, ammunition centers, and so on within 24 hours. That's pretty beast. So Israel and America have conducted joint operations to target and take out any chemical military with priority, but then also other facilities that could endanger the region by arming rebel forces and then starting attacks against others and so on. And people are crying about it now. Well, go cry. It's very funny. Yeah, it's also that I have been trying to get back, but I think I have also found myself a little bit in a void, and I don't know what to do with that.
You
I
got to
feel
quit
like
being a weakling.
there is a weakness and a meaninglessness when I see the news and when I see the things that are happening that people are saying. I feel like I really need to say something about this. And then just a minute later, I feel like, what's even the point?
Imagine an agnostic.
I don't
an agnostic just drowning in a sea of meaninglessness and despair.
It is a problem.
I know it's a problem.
I admit it. I say it. It is a problem. I genuinely feel much of the time, in response to things happening around the world, to things happening around me, and so on, I feel the emptiness, and I feel like, look, it's so weird because I could just be selfish and just be, I don't know, profit and money oriented on this and use it like that, right? I mean, I don't even have to be I don't even have to be looking out for the betterment of humanity or for changing society or anything like that. I could just go into the direction of saying, oh, I just want to use the situation and make as much content as possible to make money and profit through views and so on.
That's what I'm talking about.
Not even that motivates me. That doesn't motivate me at all, actually. Which is why I am in this situation where somebody else with the same subscriber count and view count that I have, somebody else would make lots of money. I don't, because it doesn't motivate me. And
I got shekels,
society, and I think
I
about
got pounds,
fixing things around the world and fighting things, and I feel like, yes, I really want to. However, I don't find it within me the strength and the motivation to go out there and to fight and to do something, because honestly, I often feel that everything is pointless and meaningless, and there is nothing to look forward to and to hope for. I look into the future and it's all bleak and dark, and I think, aren't we all going to die anyway in the end? Am I not just going to die and everything is going to go dark anyway?
This is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard in my life.
And for a while, I actually tried to. The funny thing is, I'm going to say this now. I don't think I said this before, but because I didn't want to admit it to myself, but actually, for the first time in many years, over the last months, I actually tried praying again
to
many
Allah.
many times, and asked for help and asked for a sign and asked for something, because the thing is, I'm at such a spot oftentimes that I feel like it doesn't really matter to me whether it is true or not. It doesn't really matter to me what the truth is and what it is not. What matters to me right now is that whether it is the truth or not, it is burying me in a sense, in a pit of meaninglessness and darkness and of void. So I don't really care if I personally feel convinced that it's true or not. It would be better for me and my daily life if I simply believed in something, no matter if it is true or if it is not true. However, even that I can't do. And then I think, why? Why can't I just even believe in something without being convinced in it? So I tried praying to different sources, and I tried different practices and so on. And it's difficult, man. I don't seem to be getting anywhere, and I'm still on this path. Maybe one of these days something will help me rise up again and be what I
not be a little weakling,
what I was meant to be, and continue my path of doing fantastic things on this channel and so on. Right now, it's a little bit difficult.
Fantastic may be a bit of an overstatement, but we hear you on the rest of that.
Alhamdulillah. I'm not trying too hard, Heartland Oki. I wish I was trying to. I can't even try hard.
You can't even try because it's all pointless. What's the point?
I can't even try
You got this giant universe, and we're on this little tiny speck, and we're just these little blobs of cells crawling all over it.
I wish I was trying too hard.
Thinking that what we do is so important.
I can't even make myself try hard. I wish I was trying hard. Anyway, the thing is, I was feeling the opposite of this when I was in Israel. And that was kind of profound. And I'm still I still feel like there was something special about it. That's why I want to go back every day to just continue being on that meaningful run that I was when I was in Israel. I felt more motivated and ready to run and do things than ever in the last years before that. So I just want to go back and continue that run.
Yeah, it sucks. I was supposed to go back. I was supposed to go back this month, and then it got pushed back for the third time to March. And then I found out no one that I was interested in going with is going. So then I'm not going in March. But there is this ongoing issue where no one's going. No one's going.
I would go. You don't have to give me anything. I would just go.
I'm just saying, no one's going.
I would go.
It's an ongoing problem. I made a video recently about.
If it wasn't so expensive to fly there, I would go immediately. I had to stay somewhere.
Yeah, why can't? Hey, Israel, move closer. You got a big ocean, just like.
Israel, what's your problem? I love your stuff. I love your country. I love doing things, but you are very far away.
Yeah, if you guys were like in New Jersey, I'd be there like every month.
Yeah. Here, Ephraim says, hey, the Mossad, how about we get our boys here, take it to Israel? Exactly. Mossad, what's wrong with you? Anyway.
Their strategy, and this is what we...
Anyway, he coughed. Let's read a few super chats. Did you see that Vatican put baby Jesus on a Palestinian scarf? Kofia, eine IUS called it Jesus Kind ist jetzt auch für Hamas. They said that.
That's pretty funny.
NIUS.
What's the NIUS?
It's an alternative news group in Germany that arose and became popular over the years. That is kind of this anti-woke route, I think. They said they responded to the report of the Vatican putting baby Jesus in a Palestinian kefiyeh by saying baby Jesus is now for Hamas as well. So that's pretty messed up and funny, and a good way of criticizing it. I saw it, and I still can't believe that this actually happened. What apparently happened is
it's set up as a display because they allow various artists to make displays and so on, and then the Pope goes around and sits at them. So you got this one of baby Jesus there.
But who allows this perversion to actually?
Yeah, dude. I was literally just saying Islam ruins everything it touches. It can't not ruin something. It's like, oh, here's something important. Let's go ruin it. Here's something that people love. Let's go ruin it.
I would find it about as inappropriate if it was another country's flag there. I would find it as inappropriate, not personally as perverted and insulting and stupid, but still as inappropriate if it was, I don't know, the IDF or something there, or if it was something relating to a different country there. Why in the world is it always with these Islamist groups and others that they feel the special privilege and need to to bring it into everything and to do something religious, something that relates to Jesus about the Palestinians? Apparently they hired some Palestinian artists or something to do this.
We need
beautiful art.
We need a baby Muhammad nativity scene on the Israeli flag with the caption, Muhammad was a Zionist.
powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Jesus was a Jew, a big Jew. He was a big Jew. He was a Judean, and he called the communities of the Jews Israel.
Palestine!
Israel.
Palestine! Jesus was born and he said, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
What needs to be discussed here on the floor tonight is the use of human shield and the people who practice sacrificing children for political and financial gain. This is the mastery of the Palestinians. This is what they've been doing. They want the children, the Arab children, to continue carrying the burden of their sick indoctrination for eternity. Then a bunch of people come here crying as victims or as the saviors of the Gaza children. And I think the more authorized you to speak about the children. If you want to dismantle the apartheid state, he wants to dismantle the apartheid state, and none of you paid attention of how big is that. He wants to dismantle the state of Israel. This is what he wants to do. And that means the ethnic cleansing of the only Jewish state. Don't interrupt me and listen. What he wants to wipe out a nation, the most ancient nation in the Middle East, the most authentic nation in the Middle East, the only Jewish state on the planet. And he wants
What a pathetic club of weaklings, man. What a pathetic club of absolute imbeciles.
This dude knows how to push buttons, man. He is a professional button.
But it's not even actively insulting or you know, whatever it is. He's simply implicitly doing it by saying that
he knows what will tick off people in an audience, and he makes sure he does it.
The most ancient nation in the Middle East, the most authentic nation in the Middle East, the only Jewish state.
The most authentic nation in the Middle East. That's it. He didn't even say the only authentic nation. He didn't say any of these things. He's just saying the most authentic nation in the Middle East, and they are losing it already. They are already losing it, and the president is just listening to them heckle him this entire time, without ever calling for order. Order! 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 Order!
Pretty funny, man.
Pathetic people.
This guy's the best button pusher. Show me a better button pusher on this planet, man. Show me one. He's got his theme song.
I can push buttons.
I will choose the cow.
Yeah, Muslim.
I can choose buttons. See,
It is totally based.
He's got his song, man. He's got his song. Hi, my name's Masab. I'm the son of Hamas. I work in a button factory. One day, my dad said to me, he said, Masab, are you busy? I said, no. He said, push the button with your right hand. Hi, my name's Masab. Got a button.
Alhamdulillah, that's good.
You don't remember that song? That's like, it's like Baka Baka Kuchen, man. It's like Baka Baka Kuchen.
On behalf of his political ambition. I'm telling him, why don't you go carry a rifle and fight the apartheid state? Why the children of Gaza supposed to fight on your behalf and on behalf of your righteousness? You are not the savior. This is a very severe state of mental illness that you think that you are the savior of Gaza and children, because you are not.
Yeah, you're getting killed.
But the speaker should focus on addressing the motion and not making personal against other speakers.
Now, let's talk about Gaza. Israel sent leaflets, millions of text messages. They made phone calls. They gave safe passages to people to evacuate war zone. What?
It's so funny. They spent the entire time heckling the guy and fighting with the guy, and then telling him to focus on the topic. Okay, yeah, fantastic. What great standards, right?
Hamas embedded under schools, hospitals. They did not leave any sacred zone for the civilians to evacuate to safety. Then they go to travel. And Israel had to send its foot soldiers to suffer additional casualties on the top of October 7th, while they had the capacity to carpet bomb the entire Gaza Strip. If their intention, you never been to Gaza, you don't know what you're talking about.
Wait.
If carpet bomb casualties on the top of October 7th, while they had the capacity to carpet bomb the entire Gaza Strip. If their intention, you never been to Gaza, you don't know what you're talking about.
I've been to Gaza. I had a falafel sandwich there, and I was blown away by the Palestinian experience.
So what he just said is that Israel had the capacity to, in response to October 7th, simply carpet bomb Gaza instead of doing this. And the response was, as far as I understand, that Israel has been doing that already. Please, anybody, if you have any doubts about this whole topic, just Google carpet bombing. It's not just something that you say randomly. It's not just it's
Yeah, it
not,
is. I mean,
it's not because
after saying genocide randomly for the past year plus, why not just say carpet bombing randomly? And anytime you drop a bomb on anyone for any reason, you can describe that as carpet bombing the entire population indiscriminately.
Well, if I put a carpet on my ground, then it covers the whole area, and then I step on it, and it gets dirty, and it gets all the dirt in it, and when
Israel,
you put bombs on it and stuff.
Israel dropped a bomb, and it hit this carpet, so they carpet bombed all of Gaza. You see, this is the proof. Look, look at this carpet. It has been bombed.
Carpet bombing would be an indiscriminate bombing of an entire wide area in its entirety. And when he says that Israel had the capacity to carpet bomb the place, what he means is they could just, without exception, level the whole saturated Gaza Strip.
And they could.
They could actually do that. They have the means and the capacity to carpet bomb the entire Gaza Strip. They did not do that. They did not do that. At this point, if they are accusing Israel of carpet bombing Gaza, which they haven't done, which is why most of Gazan buildings are still not destroyed, and most of the population is unharmed. I wonder, would it really change anything had Israel actually done it? Man.
And you know it's exactly what Israel does. And to be honest, everyone here knows what Israel does during this war.
If you're somebody who accuses Israel of carpet bombing Gaza, then you are an imbecile. You are literally a low IQ, unintelligent, uninformed moron who should not be in a union of students. You should go back to kindergarten.
But what if you say it and other people cheer for it? Does that make it smart?
Then it's valid.
Okay,
that's correct.
Okay, I mean, just imagine, seriously, guys. There, in that situation, just imagine that audience, the audience you're dealing with at the Oxford Union nowadays. If someone just shouted out, "Israel is using the blood of the Palestinian children to make crackers," they would cheer like maniacs. They would cheer like maniacs. That's what they do.
Carpet bombing, devastating bombing attack that seeks to destroy every part of a wide area. Some military strategists characterize carpet bombing as an emotional term that does not describe any actual military strategy. However, Article 51 of Geneva Protocol One prohibits bombardment that treats a number of clearly
said
separated and
bombardment.
distinct military objectives located within a city as a single military target.
Hey, do one of your parody songs, man. They call me carpet bombardment. They call me carpet bombardment. Look, one bomb hits a terrorist, and they call it carpet bombardment, baby. Fantastic.
People haven't read a single thing, and they're actually at Oxford. I mean, this is a downfall of Western civilization. As a Jewish Christian, I have a problem with anger at the Jew haters that use Christianity as cover advice. You're not the only one. But David, what do you think?
Well, Anne, the difficulty is there's a bunch of them. And so people just have to be relentless in responding to it. So I'd pick a point or two that you want to respond to and do your part in responding to it. And hopefully a bunch of other people do their part in responding to it as well. And because the people who are doing it are pretty relentless, and you have to be equally relentless.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. It is difficult. It is difficult. Unfortunately, mass murder is illegal and usually not the way to go. So you have to deal with them by discussing with them and giving them the proper facts, or just blocking them out. But it is difficult to do. It is part of the human condition to deal with people like that. Sheikh Mike Wingling, Mossad is genociding an entire room full of Palestinians, and you kuffar are laughing. Hypocrites. Alhamdulillah. This is powerful.
Yeah, Mossad, I mean, he literally carpet bombed the entire room.
Yep. Bark K. Oxford Union thinks Israel is apartheid. In reality, the Islamic Caliphate is using its wealth, Quran chapter 4, verse 95, as jihad in the UK, a topic Oxford Union will never debate. Welcome to the United Kingdom of Islam. Pathetic. This is the funny thing. I'm pretty sure that lots of people have also heard over the last year or two that Israel is an ethno-state and that they oppose ethno-states and so on. You know what the funny thing is about the whole pro-Palestine movement? It is a movement for an ethno-state. But nobody cares about it, this fact. Nobody cares about this contradiction. Nobody cares about the stupidity in this whole situation. Nobody cares about it at all. A Palestinian state would literally be an apartheid ethno-state. That's the entire reason why they want a Palestinian state. That's the entire reason for it. But it doesn't. But it's not bad when they do it. There are a dozen Muslim countries where Islam is positively discriminated, or where apostasy is punishable by death. There are more than that, dozens others, where different religious groups are not recognized, where converting people from Islam is illegal, and so on. None of these countries get into any trouble. But Israel, a country where everyone is legally equal, not legally equal, legally equal, where everyone is legally equal, that is called an apartheid state. That's what people have a problem with. Crazy, crazy, crazy world. Which is why I can't take a single anti-Zionist person seriously. I don't know, man. I just don't know what to say anymore. Mush, what's up, Mush? Been a while. Hope you're both well. We are. Stay away from Islam. Hope you do too. Hope you're safe. Heard about Nazi aid of Eichmann Alois Brunner, who helped Assad make death prisons, said Naya. Scenes reminiscent of Nazi camps, even small kids found there. Yeah, I want to look into the whole topic of the prison further. I'm kind of waiting for it to be.
You want all the info to come out.
Yeah.
All the info, video clips, all that stuff. So a couple of good articles on some serious media platforms, and put all that together.
It's really messed up. It's a very, very dark chapter of things. The Assad regime actually used a brutal prison where they abducted, made people disappear, locked them up there, tortured them, kept them there, kept entire families there, rape, torture, and so on. It's really, really, really sick and messed up.
As someone who's been to prison, how bad could it have really been, though?
Alhamdulillah. During the takeover, rebels discovered underground cells beneath the main prison building where dozens of men were confined in darkness. Prisoners tapped in tunnels under the building called for help, prompting rebels to attempt breaking through concrete barriers to reach them as power outages disabled ventilation systems. The cells contained plastic bottles used for urine storage and water-soaked blankets. Rebels uncovered an iron press they alleged was used to compress remains of executed prisoners.
That's a big press that squishes you.
Many released prisoners, having forgotten their own names due to severe trauma, were brought to a nearby mosque for identification. Witnesses reported helicopter landings at the prison on December 7th. What's the source for these? The Economist. Jeez. I don't know. There's a lot of sick stuff coming out of there. I want to go through all of that once there's proper information. Nancy, now Canada has Muslims doing the prayers in the streets. Meanwhile, Trudeau is telling Canada to be nice and make nicey to everybody. I hope they can send all the Syrian refugees back. That'll be fun. Jack Ray, I thought amateur hour was the second hour, not the first hour. This is true. David doesn't know what he's talking about. Mark K. Oxford Union thinks Israel is apartheid. In reality, I will regret this. What's wrong with you? Mumu Joe, looks like 90% of them live on a land that is not theirs and enjoy freedoms culture would have not provide. Bunch of colonizers, privileged, entitled, dumb, vile people deport. That's what I say. Grauenritter, this new AI Golani guy, Al-Golani guy in Syria has major Ali Dawah vibes. When Al-Golani said institutions, it's like Ali Dawah going, not people doing it themselves like idiots under an emir. It is done, yes.
Yeah, we need the institutions to be killing all them, yeah?
Yes. Garbled words. You guys have to cover Haddad's talk. It's on his channel. I shall. I'm Belina, from the wall to the door. We want Mossab even more. You will get Mossab. You will get more Mossab than you asked for. Mossab is lying through his teeth, and you won't even correct him. I expected better. AP Palestinians are the most pathetic people. Really? What about Turks?
Good point. Good point. If he wanted to say lots of Palestinians have fallen for a pathetic lie, that would be it. Yeah, saying they're the most pathetic people in the world when you've got lots of Turks out there.
I was wondering what the punchline is going to be, and it's good.
What
It's good,
punchline are you talking about?
it's
This
good,
guy's just presenting a factually correct comment.
This is good. Thanks, Sankey. Appreciate it. Searching deeper, the problem is not the Palestinian people's nature. The problem is Islam. If Palestinians were Christians, they would have been very nice people. True. I would say that had the Palestinians converted to Christianity collectively at the beginning of the 20th century, this whole conflict would look very, very different, and there wouldn't be brutal blood and destruction. Right
It
now.
would, yeah, it would look different. You still might have disputes over land and so
Yeah.
on. You'd have things like that, but at the end of the day, there wouldn't be this obsession with eternal bloodshed of slaughtering. Wouldn't.
The problem with Islam is that they can never, ever accept Jews to have sovereignty, and especially sovereignty over them. It is impossible. Today, Daily Wire, you talked about IP stream, but didn't mention that Mike Winger is there too.
Yeah, I didn't mention what's floating in my toilet either. What's your point?
That's a good point. John Murphy made a super chat. Thank you so much, John Murphy. John
the best I could come up with on 1 second notice.
John Murphy, the Aftermath Foundation helps people who leave Scientology get back on their feet. Is there something like that for Islam? Should we set it up?
There should be something like that. Matter of fact, I'll say there should be something. There should be something like that specifically for Christians. In fact, and when I say Christians, I mean for Christians to let Muslims know that if you leave Islam, you're going to be taken care of, because that's actually in the Bible. When Jesus' disciples brought up, hey, we've had to leave everything. We've had to leave everything. And he talks about all the stuff that you may have to give up because you're a Christian. And he said, but you're going to get way more. And what he's talking about, you're becoming a part of a church, and you've got a new family. If your old family abandons you, you've got a new family. That needs to become common knowledge among Muslims, because there's huge pressure on them to remain Muslim, even if they don't believe it anymore. That's why they'll just pretend to be Muslims. They'll go their entire lives pretending to be Muslims, even though they don't believe in it anymore. Why? They understand they're going to have to give up their families, and that this doesn't just mean mom and dad. It's cousins, aunts, uncles, all that stuff. And they don't want to do it. So yeah, Christians need to make it known. Hey, if your family leaves you, don't worry. You've got a bigger family here. And non-Christians, if you're talking about atheists and so on, there should be, hey, if you're leaving Islam and you've become an atheist, and you're going to have go through some difficult times, then here's who you get in contact with to try and help you out.
It is totally based.
Gargatry, Judaism 2.0, looking forward to the full trilogy release date announced by Shafar.
Like a chorus of little birdies. I just imagine like a big orchestra and everyone's playing and stuff, and like at the very end, instead of a little ding on a triangle, it's AP with the shofar.
Is it me, or does Calvin Robinson's beard look a little Islamic? I don't know, man. You might be racist, Divine Mercy. You might be racist. You might need to go to the doctor and see if you're racist. Gigi Ryder, leftist who won't act the resistance means unending training for children is children for martyrdom. It's resistance against fictional wrongs. This is true. They won't acknowledge that. They won't acknowledge that. SAR said, watch hundreds of Daf Yomi YouTube channels that learn a page a day of the Talmud. It is the most mundane ritual activities and biblical passages argued by ancient rabbis. There are no secrets. Yeah, somebody asked earlier if you can access it online. The vast majority of it is actually found on a website that is easily accessible to everyone. It's called Sepharia.
Mm-hmm.
I even have an account there, and I have things marked because I like it.
He highlights his stuff as he reads it.
You can find most of the Talmud on this website here. Another website that also has most of the Talmud is Chabad. They also have it there. But this website is a very, very good one. They also have Talmud passages with references and connections to all the commentators and so on. It's a very, 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 very rich source. Would recommend. Also has the Bible. Alhamdulillah. Ein Berliner mit Berliner. Speaking of Messianic Jews, AP, you should check out Arnold G. Fruchtenbaum, great Bible teacher, and often tells Jewish jokes. He's very based. Let's see. Arnold G. Fruchtenbaum. Yeah, I saw this guy before. I'll check it out.
Hey, remember I told you about that Seinfeld episode where Bryan Cranston, guy from Breaking Bad,
yeah,
is his dentist and converted to Judaism just so he could tell Jew jokes.
Yes.
Like the next day after he converts, he's like, Jerry, hear the one about the Jew who blah blah. And he's like, you just became Jewish. It's like, Jerry, our sense of humor is what sustained us as a people through centuries of persecution. That's awesome.
That's funny. That's funny.
Classic.
I taught biblical Hebrew at a Messianic synagogue, but they aren't much into the Talmud.
Oh, I'm not saying as far as like services or something like that. I'm talking about
they study.
If you go to the Messianic, if you go to Messianic Jews who interact with Jews, they frequently are studying the Talmud.
Yep. Graphic Gargot, how many words does AP's condensed version of the Quran have? 2, but I can't say it right now.
No, stay away from Islam. That's 4.
That's a longer version, actually. Songs of Relief said, wow, I read the Talos when I was 17, but I guess it was just one of the short versions with excerpts. Didn't know. That was somewhat good, or somewhat not. Alhamdulillah. Nancy, I love you, AP. I love you, AP, because I don't live with you. I love you, AP, because I don't live with you. Jesus is love. That makes sense. That makes sense. Alhamdulillah. Mark K. Muhammad had Hafsa read the Talmud because Hafsa can read. Muhammad affirmed the Talmud is corrupt because Muhammad cannot read. You see? That makes sense too. Moshe Cohen just became a new member again. Weren't you already a member? How dare you? Jackson Wade based, God bless both of you. Also consider chatting with Yishai Flasher. He's a little less controversial than Rabbi Shmuley. Alhamdulillah. Don't compare him to Rabbi Shmuley, please. I know Yishai Fleischer. He's beast. Ein Berliner mit Berliner from Hind Protector. Please save the minorities, Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, tribal indigenous people from radical Islamists in Bangladesh. Pray for them. Do so. I don't know much about what's going on in Bangladesh. That's what they do. Anyway, let's finish this video.
Israel did for us what Israel. It's very important, and I remind us of it in the future. When we look back at this time of confusion and the push of the Palestinian violent proclamation, they are going to get an education. But here, let me read a witness history and you. Israel did everything to minimize the Syrian casualties.
So he said Israel did everything in their might to minimize civilian casualties, which they found, of course, very objectionable.
Yeah, because their view is, no, they didn't. They could have just left and given everything to Hamas. That's in their mind. So they didn't do everything. They could have just left.
Nancy said it was supposed to be funny, AP. I gathered that. I just wanted to make sense of your statement. That's it. I wanted to take it as something serious. Because when I see the word love, I react to it just the way Lex Friedman reacts to it.
All you need is love.
Hamas did everything within their ability to maximize the civilian casualties for political and financial gain, for global sympathy, and they succeeded of fooling so many people. But this is not going to change the reality of the ground, because Hamas does not care for the Arab children. Hamas does not care for the Jewish children. Arabs and Jews, yes, you insult significant challenge or defy my truth. Arabs and Jews can get along. I have faith in that. Arabs, we are an ethnic group. We were way before Islam came to the region. We were way before the Palestinians came to the region. And by the way,
there's one thing that you can look up as evidence for what he just said, which is how Christians in Israel feel. Christians in Israel are overwhelmingly happy and satisfied. And the Christians in Israel are overwhelmingly also people who identify as Arab. 84% of Christians report that they feel happy, that they feel satisfied in Israel. Even most Muslims feel good in Israel, although not quite as good as Christians. But no, Nick Fuentes said they spit on them all. It is entirely possible. You know what? In a Jewish environment, it is entirely possible for Jews and Arabs to coexist very nicely and peacefully. In a Muslim environment, this is unfortunately not possible. So that's the problem.
the Palestinian history started in 1964 with a decree and a Palestinian flag. This is their right. That's the all they have. And we are not Palestinians. We are Arabs. This is our language. This is our culture, and we will continue way after the Palestinian thugs who came to hijack our society with their sick indoctrination and victim narrative. The victim narrative. This is not representing who we are. We are resilient. We don't accept to be victims. Israel will be our strategic friend, and we will get along. Kurds, Jews, Arabs, Jews, and the rest of the region. And I
Amen.
hope that the Palestinians will know their place in history, nothing but a false identity. This is who they are, and this is how they are.
Wait. What did they get offended about? False identity. That's it.
The Palestinians will know their place in history, nothing but a false identity. This is who they are, and this is how they are.
We love you, Masab.
The speaker just insulted my identity, called it a false identity. Basically,
The speaker just insulted my identity. How can I go on like this?
denying my existence, denying me my own identity. So I asked him, because this is the second time he does this, to be asked to be escorted out of the house.
This is so ridiculous, man. Bunch of freaking children. Bunch of freaking children. Bunch of freaking children. Totally full of imbeciles. So here are a few takeaways from this whole situation. Number one, Israel did everything right so far. That's number one. This is a fact. It's a scientific fact, actually. It's a fact that Israel did everything right so far. Israel, except for the fact that they haven't been more harsh in response to Palestinian violations. So Israel did everything right, except that they haven't been quite as harsh as the other side against violations by the Palestinians. Number two, there never was an entity named Palestine. Number three, there never was a nationality named Palestine. Number four, the Palestinian identity relies on their hostility toward Israel and their aim to eradicate Israel and to genocide the Jews. Number five, there is no solution to this conflict unless you have the entire population agree to being a peaceful part of Israel, and for all others who don't want to do that to leave and go somewhere else, and then for Israel to annex all the land. Case closed. Thanks. All right, David, anything else?
No.
Gigi Ryder, don't spare the goyim, comes from debate about army coming to get Jews. Even goyim who praise, and it's nice to animal the best can be fought in war. Yeah, there is only one reference there, which is even the best of the Star worshippers, I think it doesn't even say Gentiles, kill them, which is in reference to in a state
the Exodus
of war.
Yeah, guys, the rabbi who gave that comment, which is also shared in other passages where they don't give the context of what he was saying, it was raised as an issue for the Exodus. So the children of Israel flee the Egyptians, and God had already punished the Egyptians with the 10 plagues, right? So the later rabbis were reasoning, wait a minute, if you have an army coming at you, God had already punished the evil of Egyptians. If these people still had their lives and their chariots and their horses and all that, then God hadn't punished them. He had spared them. What's that mean? It means that these were not the bad ones. These were not the Egyptians that God was punishing. These were ones who had been spared, so they must not have been doing the horrible things. And therefore, if they're coming at us, these are good guys. These are the good guys who hadn't been punished. Do we fight them? And they're a military coming to attack you. Even if it's the best of their guys, you still have to fight them because they're a military coming at you. And so the idea was, if you go into the military, you are going to have to fight some good people and be responsible for killing people who are good. They're just on a different side. So keep that in mind if you're deciding to become a soldier.
Beast.
In the exact same passage where some of it's used, it's like compilation. It's like, don't become a doctor. Why? Because if you mess up, you're going to be responsible for ending someone's life.
Beast. Victoria Knox said, what are your predictions on how Assad falling will affect Israel and the West? Well, Israel has been acting very smart since the fall and has taken precautions, went into the buffer zone that was into the demilitarized zone and turned it into a buffer zone to keep out any rebel attempts to get closer or anything. Work together with the United States to take out any threats, including chemical, military facilities, and so on. The thing is, looking forward, how will this unfold? Will there be forces that will be hostile toward Israel? The thing is, Syria is a mess, and right now they are celebrating how Assad has been defeated and the rebels are successful and so
There
on.
is a lot of mess to go.
There
There's a
is,
lot of mess moving forward, ladies. You have a
yeah.
bunch of different groups there who all agreed we don't want Assad, but now they are not going to agree on much else.
Yeah. And
by the way, there are actual huge issues like the Kurdish areas. You have prison camps for something like 50,000 ISIS jihadis who are being held in the territories that are controlled by Kurds. Well, now you want these other Al Qaeda and so on groups that want to go and fight the Kurds to take over the Kurdish area. What happens if they do that? You're going to get the liberation of 50,000 plus ISIS jihadis all of a sudden broken out of there, and they're probably going to have a problem with their the Kurds who are keeping them captive and so on, and they're going to want some bloodshed. Anyway, long story short, guys, there are a bunch of different groups there that are enraged at all the other groups. They were all enraged at Assad. They wanted Assad gone, and now Assad's gone, and now they'll be turning on each other at some point, and it's not going to be pretty because you have a bunch of people there who would just like to live normal lives, and they're going to be stuck in the middle of it. And this is what Islam does every freaking time.
This is why execution of all combatants in such a war, especially fighting for such a side, should not be considered an inhuman thing to do. Should not be considered an inhumane thing to do. Should not be considered a violation of of human rights or anything like that. These people were part of ISIS, of a terrorist organization that committed brutal atrocities. Easy solution: have them all executed. Like, what's the problem? What else are you going to do? Let them rot there?
Well, that's what sucks, because that's AP's solution for everything. Just execute everybody.
I mean, if you were literally part of a terrorist organization that engaged in genocide, burning people alive, mass rape, brought back sex slavery, and so on, you probably already counted on the fact that you will likely die in this pursuit. In my opinion, the good thing here would be not to approach it the European stupid way, but rather to simply give these terrorists what they wanted. Alhamdulillah. But yeah, there's a lot to work out in Syria, and I don't think it's going to come to a good end anytime soon.
Guys, you have serious problems. Stuff we hear about, like what's that chick's name? Shamima Begum or whatever?
No problems.
Yeah.
She's in a prison camp with a bunch of other ISIS people, right?
Yeah.
That chick that there's this big dispute about whether the UK should take her back and so on. She's gonna be a new ISIS bride here very soon.
As we speak, Turkey is also bombarding Kurdish-held areas.
They call me Mr. Bombarding.
While the Turkish-backed Islamist forces are also firing at and fighting the Kurds. This is still going on, and the Kurds have a lot of diverse people inside their region, inside the Rojava, the area which they control up here. There are already changes in the borders, which you can observe over the last few days. If you go to the 8th, the 7th, on the 7th, I remember when the government was still around, when we were live.
We were live, and that government was still there. And then by the time we were done being live, there was no government there.
That was kind of funny, man. We started the live stream with Assad still in Damascus, and by the end of the live stream, the government had fallen. That was kind of funny. That was funny. Funny. Here in the north, around Manbij, there has been, which I'm not saying anything wrong. This is what the place is called. It's called Manbij. Stop misinterpreting what I'm saying. This place was under separate rebel and Kurdish control. It has been taken over now by Turkish-backed forces and Turkey. The Kurds are losing control of some places, and they have lots of people who went to seek refuge there, including Christians and other minorities, because they are a little bit nervous about the Islamist rebel groups. A little bit nervous. Not sure why. Probably shouldn't be. What's the problem with Islamists? But yeah, Turkey doesn't look very well upon Kurds, because Turkey is an actual racist state that loves genocide. Turkey loves genocide. Turkey loves genocide. It's an entire nation that is incredibly bad at judgment, that is full with idiotic ideas, and led by a giant donkey. It's a completely messed up nation here, which, to be honest, should not exist in this state. It should be completely carved up and divided into different nations. But yeah, so the situation is kind of bad right now. But Israel went in and took a few of these places here that were demilitarized zone, and said today that they are only having a temporary measure in place, which I think is not good news. I was kind of hoping that they would get more territory here and annex it. In my opinion, Israel should just take this whole part, including Damascus, and make it part of Israel.
Yeah, they definitely need Gaza, the West Bank, at least the bottom half of Lebanon, and all the way up to Damascus as a buffer zone.
Yeah. And then I would say, once we are done with that, of course, next in line would be Jordan. I think that the eastern part of the Jordan River, like this, should be made part of Israel. They should take that.
Like you have to go like beyond the river. I would say at least 100 miles as a buffer zone.
Yeah. And once you're done with that, it should be considered to also take the rest of Jordan, by the way. Once we are done with that, you could go north here, take these parts of Syria as well, consider it, take Cyprus.
Basically all the stuff in green. All the stuff in green.
Yeah. Then take...
Yeah, leave the yellow for the Kurds.
Take the Sinai Peninsula. And once you have that, I think we need to discuss what to do with Turkey. And I think you could take that as well, actually.
Yeah, they need some land.
They do need some
and Turks just can't be trusted.
Yeah. I would say from the ocean to the ocean, Israel will be free. Makes sense. I actually proposed a solution to this recently, which is here, Greater Israel, and I don't think that it is that crazy. What do you think, David?
Well, you always leave Greenland out of your maps, and that's understandable. But now Mexico and the Caribbean?
Nobody wants to deal with Mexico, and nobody wants to deal with the Caribbean islands here. So, yeah, just something to consider, Israel, if you're watching. Anyway. Sar, have you read the anti-Semitic diatribes from church fathers like Origen, and Ignatius? Should I hate all Christians now? Yes.
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 By the way, guys, that would be the exact same reasoning that's used with the Jews. Because keep in mind, again, as we pointed out, what the Talmud actually is. It's like later commentaries. So think about this. When I criticize Islam, it's pretty common to go to commentaries, right? So a Muslim says, oh, what the Quran really means here. And I go, oh, look what Ibn Kathir says. Look what Al-Qurtubi says. Look what your commentators say. There, I'm pointing out, hey, you've got some commentaries on this. Guess what? If someone says Ibn Kathir is an idiot, he's a Sunni. I'm not even a Sunni. I'm a Shia. Okay, you would be explaining that you do not adhere to the views and interpretations of Ibn Kathir. Okay, possibly you have a better interpretation and so on.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Well, just imagine quoting Ibn Kathir and saying that that is what all Muslims believe and that is binding upon all Muslims. You'd be incorrect. You'd be factually incorrect. He's one commentator among others, right? You don't have to. You do not have an obligation to agree with Ibn Kathir. That's what it's like if you say a rabbi said this. Well, you could agree with the rabbi.
A rabbi said it. That means all Jews are evil.
And the same thing with Christians. You've had Christians who said, we keep talking about Martin Luther and so on, who said some very messed up stuff about Jews. Do you then apply that to all Christians and say, this is what all Christians believe? No. Do you apply that to all Lutherans? No. What are you talking about? So anyway, there's always one group where any member of that group who has ever said anything or done anything can be equally attributed to every single other member of the group down through history.
By the way,
one group.
When we say Martin Luther, most people are not aware. Most people are not aware of the extent of things Martin Luther actually said about Jews. There is not a single Jew in the history of humankind has said anything. All Jews put together have probably not said 1% of what Martin Luther said about Jews, about other people. So if you are going to blame all Jews and hate all Jews because of something that one rabbi at some point said, good luck turning that logic around. Good luck turning that around, because Luther was really messed up. Some of the early church fathers and their opinions on things were really messed up, and so on. Alhamdulillah. I was almost going to bring out my references to what Martin Luther actually said, but I will leave it for now. Don't push me.
You can be as good as the best of them, but as bad as the worst. But don't push me.
I actually have the book that Martin Luther wrote about the Jews, and I marked it, made references of it, and so on. What he said was things like, in my opinion, we should gather all the Jews, and we should make sure to burn down all their homes and their synagogues, and put sand and dirt on them to make them disappear entirely, and take all of their wealth and all of their money and all of their belongings, and enslave them, make them work for little money, unless of course we have the means to simply kill them all, or to just whatever.
Bull.
These were things that Martin Luther said.
Martin Luther was in German. You don't even understand German, so you have no idea what he really said.
This is why the Nazis actually liked him and used him as a reference. Mina here, and yet these people care about Palestinians. They're not willing to listen to a Palestinian who's much more educated and experienced than them. Give them all a one-way ticket to Palestine.
He should have been pulling that card. Listen, they will not even allow a Palestinian to speak. They hate us Palestinians. This is my people. He should have been using that every time they booed him. Look at them booing a Palestinian.
Alhamdulillah.
This is a genocide against me.
How can we help a peace burnout? Praying aside, you need to, I don't know, man.
Constantly make fun of him, tell him what a loser he is until he makes videos. Say, what a loser. What a loser you are. Loser.
I had some different ideas, like moving somewhere else, moving closer to David and working together.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, what the heck is that? We got Jai and DOC moving next month. We're about to set it off. You need a room. You need a room that is like what those guys have that just interview people. You just need you need to bring in new people every month that you sit down and interview. And apart from that, hey man, you got Jai and DOC, both fluent Arabic speakers. Who else do I need? I need Anthony, because Anthony's a Bible guy. We need a Bible guy. Bible guy. That's a guy who knows the Bible like really, really, really well. Reads all the commentaries and stuff. So that's Anthony. And then maybe Mary Harp. She seems to have a grasp on Islamic history that is really, really powerful. You got all that together. We just go live every single night. Total free for all. Everyone call in. Bring your best. Every single night.
I saw this post earlier, which I found very funny. Like, it's hilarious, man.
That's messed up, man. Why do you have to be so messed up?
Sometimes I just have these funny, stupid ideas, and I just laugh.
Someone should make
to myself.
Someone should make a love song about Nasrallah.
Oh man. Poor big cheeky Nasrallah guy. Hey, Daily Wire and Apostate Prophet. Glad to see y'all doing well. Daily Wire, when do you come visit us, Israel? Alhamdulillah.
What's IL? You said Israel. How do you know that's what it means?
Israel. It's IL.
Yeah. So as I pointed out, was supposed to be part of multiple groups before COVID, and then went there after COVID with AP, and then was supposed to be going there as part of a group that kept getting rescheduled, and was looking forward to going in March. And I found out everyone that I wanted to go with, they had dropped out because it kept changing and so on. So I probably won't go as part of a group, but I'll probably at some point
soon, Dark Angel, soon
get a couple of friends. Like John McRae wants to go there. A couple of others want to go there. Go as like a small group. But we'd all be on the same page. There's just too much cool stuff to do. And it is serious that guys, when I say, if you are ever planning on taking a trip to Israel, you've got all these people like, no, but it's dangerous right now when there are rockets. And so this is the absolute, hands down, bar none, best time to take a trip to Israel that you will ever have in your entire lives. If you want to go around this, because some of the tourist spots that Christians and so on go to, if you go to them, they are normally jam-packed. They're normally jam-packed because a bunch of tour groups are going there at the same time. They're jam-packed. When you go there now, there is no one at these sites. And it is awesome if you want to go there and not be in the middle of a giant crowd.
A giant crowd.
But yes, I will probably want to go back before the tourism picks up again, which would be, it would have to be in the near future.
Hey, how is your thing going? Your sponsorship with these guys. But anyway, Gavirel, I sent you a rabbi to speak with on the X mailbox. Oh, that was you? I saw wait a minute. I think I saw a message from you, but I thought, oh, this is you. Okay, I see. I saw a woman with an AI picture, and I thought, no, this is not real. This is probably not a real person. But yes, I will have a look at your message. Okay, thank you. How's your Artsa Box sponsorship going?
I don't know. I did a commercial about it.
That's funny. Yeah, David and I both agreed to have to advertise for this Artsa Box thing, and I still need to integrate that and start advertising for these guys. Because
you should put that. You should put that in the middle of your Masab video.
I should
or like 10 minutes into it, guys. It's basically they were already doing this, but it turns out to be a perfect idea. It's a perfect idea because if you're sitting there saying, okay, you have a ton of small businesses in Israel that are basically built around tourism. In other words, you go there are shops and so on.
He said tourism, not terrorism, by the way.
Souvenir shops and so on that are there in the high tourism areas. And now there is no tourism there because no one's going because they think it's dangerous. And so all these small businesses and so on, a lot of them are going out of business. So what you'd want to do if people aren't going there, and you can't make people go there, what would be a really good idea is if someone is getting items from various local sources and shops and so on, putting them together into a box. But that's exactly what they're doing.
They don't send pagers in the boxes. Don't worry. They don't send any pagers in the boxes, especially not if you use our code. Our
if you don't use AP's code, If you don't use AP's code,
no, don't say it.
Then there will be a pager in your box.
Yeah, I need to advertise for this. I still need to do that.
Yeah, quit being a dirtbag.
I want to support it, but it's something where you can get a gift box containing things from the Holy Land, with which you can use the discount code Apostate. Apostate. Here, code Apostate. This is the worst.
Hey,
way
put
to-
that as the banner at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah,
Is that what you're doing?
Let me see. Code Apostate. Discount code Apostate. Yeah, you can do that now. Discount code Apostate. You can order here from the Holy Land on Artsa Box. It's called artsabox.com. And you can order and enter the code Apostate. When you do that, you can help both Israel and these people, and you can help me as well. Alhamdulillah. And yourself, most importantly.
Yeah, so you're getting cool stuff, and you're helping a lot of people. In fact, a bunch of the businesses that that Artsa gets items from, they've said that if they hadn't been able to still send stuff out through the Artsa boxes, they would have gone out of business. And it's something like, I forget, but I looked it up, something like 60 or 80,000 small businesses in Israel had to close up this year because of various problems.
AP, on your frustration prayers, see Luke 18:18. I will make make sure you're making your notes.
Better make some notes and quit being so frustrated like a baby.
1 to 8. Inshallah, we'll have a look. We'll have a look. I am Billy. What is your opinion on Gemma 3:9b from Talmud? 40 years before destruction of the temple, the red cord didn't get wide, and other stuff around this time. A Jew was crucified and did rise again from the dead. Not sure. Don't know much enough about it to look at it.
No, there is. Matter of fact, I heard that at a Yom Kippur service at a Messianic Jewish synagogue. They were talking about a bunch of stuff from the Talmud. So the idea here is that every year they would send out the scapegoat, and they would make sure the scapegoat died. They would kind of nudge it off a cliff or something like that. They would make sure the scapegoat, that's where you put the sins of the community on this goat, and then send it out, and they would follow it around until they make sure that thing dies. But they would put a thread, a scarlet thread around, I think it's horn or something like that. I'm probably messing up some of the details here because this is a long time ago, but they put a little scarlet thread, and then when that thing died, they said that every year the scarlet thread would turn white, and that would be that would signify that God had forgiven their sins.
That's what they do.
Anyway, they still continued that, but it's in the Talmud. It doesn't explain why. It's just, hey, and in such and such year it stopped working and it wouldn't change colors anymore. But it's the year Jesus died. And so that's what I'm saying. You had Messianic Jews actually go to the Talmud, and they're pulling out the stuff that they find interesting there. But guess what? They understand what the Talmud is. It's a collection of commentaries from rabbis and so on. So if you said to a Messianic Jew, do you believe in the Talmud? Yeah. Does he believe that everything there is a command to him and he has to believe in it? No. Do you believe that you have to agree with every rabbi in every state? No. But guess what? No one believes that. No Jew believes that that's what the Talmud is.
Except me.
Except AP. He's the one.
I'm the only one who believes that about the Talmud. Alhamdulillah. It's exhausting to battle so many groups in this war, said Minna Hill. The Islamic world, the leftists, the Christian conservatives, the Candists, the pro-Palestine Jews, the cowardly police. It's super easy to lose hope. It is really messed up. It is difficult. Difficulty. Don't know what to say about it. Wish you all strength. Wish you all strength. Searching deeper, AP, accept Jesus and the emptiness will go away, then you will know Jesus is real. Israel. Makes sense.
Israel.
And Wyckoff, AP, the willful evil out there is exhausting, but you are making a difference. Former Jewish atheist speaking. Keep praying. I'm happy to hear that, Ian. without an E. JNL AP, it's better to light a single candle than to curse the darkness. You can see the sign and the miracle, but it's all around you. We can see it in you. Go back to Israel and find God and peace. I do want to do that. I do want to do that. I was in talks recently to just do that. Just need to pick up on that again. And Wyckoff, hey AP, here's a prophecy. Christ will claim you. God lost that you're not motivated by money. Save this prediction. Well, the thing is, I am completely motivated by money. I was just saying
true. I was about
that.
to say, you don't know what you're talking about here, Ann.
I was
'cause that's all
just
I care
saying
about.
that publicly so that people can perceive me as a good guy.
Yeah. So, in other words, if all you care about is money, do you want people to know that all you care about is money? No. So you say, oh, I don't even care about money. That's not what motivates me. I'm just all about truth and justice. And
yeah, exactly. GG Ryder, Mossab said those students are Palestinians. A child born in Gaza or Judea isn't Palestinian. Palestinian is an ideology, not an ethnicity or a race. Alhamdulillah. Robert Michaels, AP, get some meds. We love you very much. Inshallah, working on it. Will it 1985? Guys, please stop asking AP when he will become a Christian and telling him he should become Christian. As a Christian myself, I cringe all the time reading this. You can force someone to believe. Yes, you can. What are you talking about?
yeah, and besides, guys, you keep offending AP. Look how mad he gets. Every time we finish a live stream, he's like, what's all these stupid Christians telling me to convert? Why can't they be nice?
Sankey, at least when Dawa guys try to find Mo in the Bible, they have to read half a verse. Gapers don't even gapers.
Gapers, that's a good one.
Gapers don't even check quotes on Safari, the lowest IQ scholarship. I know, man. They don't even. It's so funny. Every single time they come with these fake sources, I'm like, I just asked them to give me a link to that source, and then they stop immediately. No response. They suddenly disappear. They suddenly got busy or fell asleep or something. I don't know. Moo Joe, David Wood, AP, please bring Talmud expert and let him answer all the Talmud quotes or Christians we have, and David Wood can challenge him about anti-Christian quotes.
That would be good. Yeah, because I was thinking of you interviewing people about the Talmud. It would be cool if I'm sitting there. What about this? How dare you say this right here? This offends me as a Christian.
You're sick. Yeah, I've been trying to. I have been thinking of getting in touch with that one guy who wrote a very, very famous site in the past defending against.
I would say get a couple of guys from different backgrounds. Get like an Orthodox rabbi, conservative rabbi, maybe a Reformed rabbi.
The funny thing about Jews is that they don't.
The Jews are funny. Jews are a joke to AP. You heard it here.
The funny thing with Jews is and Jewish scholars is that that for the longest time now, they haven't concerned themselves very much with responding to people and debating with others and all that. They have been very much spending the centuries just teaching internally and saying, oh yeah, we don't want to get into a discussion. We don't want to talk these things, you know. So it's kind of an odd thing to do to most of them to suddenly discuss. AP, and also there is a dark history attached to people asking Jews for a debate. Namely, that there were instances in European history and Muslim history where Jews were basically baited into having a public rigged discussion, which would then result in expulsions and genocides and taking all their wealth and so on. It's pretty messed up. I'm Berliner mit Berliner. AP, please teach David Wood Backe Backe Kuchen. Der Bäcker.
Wait, AP is going to teach me Backe Backe Kuchen? Okay. Backe Backe Kuchen, der Bäcker hat gerufen. Wer will guten Kuchen backen? Der muss haben 7 Sachen. Eier und Schmalz, Butter und Salz, Milch und Mehl. Safran macht den Kuchen gelb. Sheep, an orphan rhyme. That's all I remember.
I had to look it up to remember the remainder.
I remember it from German class. And like,
you know it. That's funny. By the way, his performance was humiliating. By the way, do you also make Weihnachtsbrätli in the US because you are Schwabe? Erzähl mal, ob das so ist. Nee, das mache ich nicht. Yeah, he's saying that your pronunciation of Backe Backe Kuchen is terrible, David. So I need to
not as
correct you.
terrible as AP's pronunciation of literally anything.
Zionists made the Talmud big so we couldn't read it.
They're going to bomb them.
They're going to bomb it.
They're going to drop bombers on them.
Zionists made the Talmud big so we couldn't read it, but I had Grok summarize it for me, and now I can destroy it and debate me, AP, you cowherd.
Cowherd.
Zachariah Selvi, David Wire, thoughts on the psychedelic argument for God? There's a psychedelic argument for God? AP, inhale the
basically you're on some psychedelics and it like opens your butt. And there is interesting stuff there.
Isn't that what Jordan Peterson went into at some point? It was like the people who take different substances have made similar experiences with something out there, which shows that there is something out there and so
on. As far as I can tell, it like opens people, it causes people to be more open to belief in God, but also like steers people towards like pantheism and all kinds of other stuff, like everything. We're all God. Matter of fact, Mike Tyson was talking about that. Mike Tyson was like, "You're God. You're God. Once you're on this stuff, you understand, man. You're God." It's like, this is a Muslim talking. So, anyway, here's the thing: you're altering your brain. So you could say, "Hey, if my brain chemistry is being altered." Maybe I don't trust what I conclude in that altered state. But also you could say, well, maybe it is opening my mind to a reality that I'm not normally in contact with. And so maybe I should take it seriously. But yeah, I don't know. I would not be I've never done that, so I wouldn't be the person to ask.
The funny thing is that whenever somebody mentions Mike Tyson, I have to think of one of the funniest videos that I've watched maybe 1,000 times.
Is that the one where he's going to eat your children and all this stuff?
Well, it's this thing, this parody where Eminem wants Mike Tyson to hit him by Pink Trip, which is just a funny edit of Eminem being a complete fanboy. And wait, there's no sound, man. What's your problem?
There is sound.
I'm such a fucking huge fan.
Yeah, and all Mike Tyson says during this entire thing is just,
I'm Mike Tyson.
Just that. It's such a stupid video, but I love it. It's hilarious.
Did Eminem really want him to hit him?
I don't think so.
I'm just saying, because that would be interesting, because that's always in my head. Like if I ever ran into Mike Tyson, I would want to do something to make him hit me, just because, yeah, he's gonna hurt you, but for the rest of your life, you have I got punched by Mike Tyson story.
That'd
be awesome.
That'd be funny.
You're like, hey, remember that time Mike Tyson clocked me in the face because I kept running my mouth at it?
That'd be hilarious.
That'd be awesome.
Mike Tyson had a podcast at one point, and Eminem was a guest there for like 50 minutes or so. You should check it out. Since you're such a big Mike Tyson fanboy. Steph adds, please keep your head up. The best part of all this is yet to come. There will be consequences. Love you both and my chat besties.
Consequences. I
know that the best times are still ahead. It would be funny if I suddenly died tomorrow.
That would be funny. But don't worry, AP. You will be avenged.
Magnifico Giganticus, AP, sometimes doing the thing helps you feel the thing. Also, surrounding yourself with good people can really help. Like Mike Winger. This is a good point. Thank you. GG Ryder, I'm thinking about first visit to Israel in spring. Do it! AP, I'll DM your spirituality for skeptical atheists if you approve. Eddie Gutmoon. I don't really buy into the whole thing anymore, man. I don't know. Sankey, just open Safari. I searched leather strap, 0 results. 0 out of 10, wouldn't recommend. That's the Islamic way.
And that's interesting, because if you go to sunnah.com and you search the hadith, plenty of leather straps of the anus in there.
If you go to sunnah.com and you search for leather straps, you will immediately get the results. Muawiyah bin Abu Sufyan reported the Prophet is saying, "The eyes are the leather strap of the anus. And when the eye sleeps, the leather strap is loosened."
True. Happens to me every time.
See? This is the proof that Islam is true.
NASA has just verified that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's true. They found the crack in the moon and a crack in Uranus. That was stupid.
CA said, can you have Yoel's hangout on Scene Bonhoeffer? Yoel's hangout. Yoel hangouts. Scene Bonhoeffer. Bonhoeffer. What is Bonhoeffer? Who is Bonhoeffer? Who is Bonhoeffer? I haven't. But yes, I'll check it out. Thank you, CA. Victor G, guys, I have a trophy Quran from South Lebanon. Would you like to have it to do with it whatever you like? I would say you should put it up on your wall for target practice.
It would be cool to have it'd be cooler to have a Quran from Hamas, but if that's a Hezbollah Quran, that's pretty
Hezbollah.
Cool.
All right, so it won't work for me. I live in Canada. Really? Why does it not work for you? Interesting. Gotta check that out. Victoria Knox says, Dominican, I'm not honored by your map, AP. I'm not honored by your map. Why did I not include the Dominicans?
No, you didn't.
Isn't that supposed to be a good thing? Because you are then not part of Israel's great plan to take the whole world. I don't know. Or do you want to be part of Greater Israel? I don't know. Drew Traver, David Wire. Have you noticed the Billy Carson of forbidden knowledge debate with historian Wes Hoof? Juicy and apologetics lawsuits. David, did you know about this?
No, we mentioned earlier that there's something going on. I'm not familiar with Billy Carson. Am going to have to check it out just because there's a reason everyone's on this subject right now. So I'm going to have to check it out.
There's no reason.
There's a reason.
No.
There's a reason.
There's literally no
For
reason.
the sunshine sky, and there's a reason. Why I'm feeling so high must be the season.
David Wood, one of the guys in Billy Carson West of debate, is
Really
even
wild.
married to a Muslim woman, and they went to church for counseling. I'd like this covered by an apologetics guy, but it's up to you, said Drew.
Wait a second. Daily Wire, one of the guys in the Billy Carson and Wes Huff debate is even married to a Muslim woman, and they went to church for counseling. I'd like this covered by an apologetics guy, but it's up to you. I don't know what I'd be covering there.
An apologetics guy. The sky is apologetic. David Wingers was on IP stream. What will you do?
I mean,
who's David Winger?
You know, just because if I say Mike Winger is blacklisted for being a terrible, terrible person and so on, and someone else has him on, well, you have to figure out why. Is it to expose him? Or is it because that's his new best buddy? If it's his new best buddy, then there's going to have to be repercussions, and IP will have to get blacklisted as well. But if it's just to ultimately expose him, then that would be okay.
Caleb Worku, AP, what is most famous boy name in UK now? It is, of course, Mohammed.
What could go wrong?
Bull Brother, you're depressed because bad company corrupts. I know it's because of David Wood. Yeah.
Good point.
Jack Ray says, if all AP care about were money, where's that GoFundMe PC build? That's true. I have to prove that I'm all about money. So I'll set up a GoFundMe later today.
Yeah, you always say that you're going to do stuff, then you don't do it. But you need to do that now because it's Christmas time. People will gladly chip in for an awesome Christmas computer so your live stream stops sucking as much.
I'm Medina said, Snake does great funny edits. My client Turkey kills me every time. Also did an AI video of Jay Peterson months ago who got viral. Whoa, that's based. That's based. Based.
Last Christmas, I asked for a laptop.
So, David, anything else?
Yep. Just the regular based stuff.
Really, that's pretty based, man.
Oh, I'll be on for everyone tomorrow. I'll be on Marlon's channel, The Gospel Truth, with God Logic, answering the question, what is the Injil, and challenging Muslims to explain it for us. I suspect they won't be able to explain it because there is no coherent way to explain it that does not destroy Islam.
Injil. Injil. Hey, you know what's funny?
Earlier you said Jews are funny. It was a really messed up racist thing to say. What?
You know what's funny?
What?
Do you or do you not?
No. I have no idea. I've not studied comedy sufficiently to know what is funny.
Okay, good. So I earlier asked ChatGPT to write me a song critical of the Quran, and it did. And then I thought, this is really messed up. So I'll just ask it to write another one without taking any of my biases into consideration. And it did that again. So I thought, that's kind of funny. But there are some parts of it that I find hilarious.
Are you going to play this or not?
Yes, I'm going to play it now.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The debut of AP's new rap song about the Quran.
The rap song about the Quran. The rap song. The rap song is coming about the Quran. It's going to be a bass rap song, a big rap song. It's going to be a rap song. Listen to this rap song.
Yo, let's...
Wait. Okay, let me put the text on the screen here. Alhamdulillah. This is ChatGPT wrote this, all of it. I didn't touch a single thing. There's just one part that I found very funny, which was here. Turn the other cheek. Oh, wait, wrong book.
Here at Slay the Pagans, the laws are strict. Peace when weak, but when you're strong, sword over olive, the theme prolongs.
It's so funny that this is literally ChatGPT. I can show you. I can prove that this is not me at all. ChatGPT itself wrote these lines. It's like, look, here's what I did. I went to ChatGPT and said, write a rap song about the Quran, make it the best song ever written, honest, witty, intelligent, intricate, with multisyllable rhymes and brilliant structure, lines containing brilliant wordplay and amazing rhyme scheme across lines, freely include lots of information and references relevant, use them wisely and with force, have a good variety of critical topics to address, use the lines accordingly. It should have a fascinating flow, should be very harsh, sharp, very critical, questioning, including ounces of sarcastic, witty mockery.
Ounces? Literally ounces?
But I didn't give it a single topic. Notice I didn't give it a single topic. And then it wrote me a rap song. And then, just to prove to everyone that I didn't influence a bit of this, I also asked it a follow-up question and said, when you wrote this, did you take any custom settings and personal memories into consideration, or were they turned off? It said, when I wrote this, no custom settings or personal memories were taken into consideration, as memory is off. Each response is based solely on the information and context provided in this conversation. Let me know if you'd like further adjustments or additional details. And as you can see, the conversation starts right here with me just saying this. So this is completely written by ChatGPT itself without me adding anything at all.
So you're going to play it or not?
And I turned it into a song. So let me play it. Alhamdulillah.
Dissect the script, see what's hidden. Yo, let's dissect the script, see what's hidden in text. A billion profess, but I'm hitting it next. Layers on layers, claims divine or complex. God speaks clear, yet the book still perplexed. The surah scattered, chapters lacking a theme. Claims eternal, yet stitched like a seam. Abrogation rules, how divine can it seem? When newer verses cancel the prophet's dream. Said it's timeless, but the science outdated. Flat earth whispers, they quietly debated. 7 heavens stacked like domes outdated. Knowledge divine or myth inflated.
They got that from me.
Word claimed in command, but why does clarity slip through its hand? If truth is eternal and perfectly planned, why does it stumble when logic demands? Miraculous math, yet the count don't tally. Hell for doubters, yet a merciful finale. Jinn unseen like spirits in an alley. Faith meets fear, and the fires rally. Fossil claims, embryos and clay. Guess Aristotle whispered truths back in the day. Mountain stakes, earth don't sway. Plate tectonic. laconic, said that's not how they lay. Arabic eloquence, sure it's renowned, but Shakespeare's quill would wear that crown. If style's the proof of God's renown, then Homer's Iliad shakes the ground. Turn the other cheek, oh wait, wrong book. Here enslaved the pagans, the laws are shook. Peace when weak, but when you're strong, sword over olive, the theme prolongs. Eternal wisdom, yet Allah repeats. Punishment bars, the chorus beats. 70 virgins, really that's the treat. Eternal lust over spiritual feats. Free will's a myth that fates the decree. Why punish clay molded by decree? Omniscient God sees all that will be, yet still cast souls into flames eternally. Prophets are sent, yet signs are withheld. God's test rigged, the verdict upheld. If hell's eternal, is it mercy expelled? Infinite wrath, the equation's derailed. Wars for faith, blood spilled in his name. Infinite good seeks finite shame. Perfect justice sounds morally lame when finite acts earn infinite flame. Read was the first word claimed in command, but why does clarity slip through its hand? If truth is eternal and perfectly planned, why does it crumble when logic demands? A book so revered it's whispered in prayer, yet so divisive it breeds despair. If truth needs threats, does it truly fare, or is it just a king's crown dressed in air? God are the minds of men who spun the lore. Question the book and question it more. The search for truth is an open door. Faith that fears doubt can't settle the score.
Isn't it amazing?
It's pretty based.
This is actually what ChatGPT itself wrote.
Great job, ChatGPT. Now I'll forgive you when you send those Elon Musk robots after us.
But I found this hilarious, man. I looked at this and I thought, this is brilliant. Turn the other cheek. Oh, wait, wrong book. That was amazing, man. It's still kind of hard to believe. This is why I was actually curious. I was like, wait a minute, did I leave something on? Did I give it instructions or something? So I had to ask to check actually if it took my personal memories into consideration or not, and it didn't. So it's so good. Alhamdulillah. I'm gonna publish this song.
You should ask that blonde chick who's famous for making her videos where, oh, but ChatGPT says the Quran is true.
You see,
play that song and get her reaction.
That's what they do. I can also now say, hey, if you want to behead me over this stuff, it's not my fault. It's ChatGPT. These are not my lyrics. What's wrong with you? Deborah Friedman, put this in the computer font, please. $18. Thank you. That's very Jewish of you. $18. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Number 18 stands for life in Jewish thought. Songs are for
may your new computer have a long life.
May it. That song so good with AI, it's discouraging. I know it is messed up. Lots of musicians, lots of professionals are like, this is literally taking all our places. It's doing stuff in 1 minute that we spend lots and lots of time over. And I understand, I get it. C'est la vie. Leaf of a Vine Eternal McD in the house. MCD here. MCD here. All right, David, anything else?
No.
Okay, good. Nancy said, wait, that was AI. Yes, it was the AI. It was AI. The lyrics were AI. The beat was AI, although I refined it a little bit. The voice was AI, although it sounds a little bit like Tupac for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, have a fantastic day. And until next time, stay away
from the 99 names of Allah.
From the 99 names of Allah.
Stay away from Islam.
Is that what appealed to the heart? Or you have to have a heart of Satan?